Welcome to Pembroke, North Carolina. Tonight, USC Aiken in to take on your UNC Pembroke Braves. Game 2 of this 3-game series. The Braves taking game 1 a night ago on a walk-off game-winning 2 RBI single from Connor Granger. Alongside Jack Bull-Slavin, I'm Trevor Williams, and glad to have you with us for Braves baseball here tonight in Pembroke. Braves out to that series lead against the number 15 Pacers, who are 11-5 in the PBC, and UNCP 21-8, a sterling 17-1 at home. We take a look at the starting pitcher for the Braves, left-hander Landon Smith, up atop the bump as he continues to warm up with Trevor Clemens here in this top half of the first inning. He'll get the Braves started as Anthony Burke was the starter last night, delivered on a strong 7 innings for the Braves. The lineup for USC Aiken will be Jose Bonilla, the center fielder, followed by Philip Watcher. Then Dalton Weeks at third base, now Goings in right field. Brian Pereira bats fifth and plays first. Joey Smithers in the sixth spot in left field. Brady O'Neill hits seventh and is the DH, and Blake Bottomley's the catcher in the eighth spot with Chandler Rogers as a shortstop to round out the order. It will be Jose Bonilla to lead it off. The Braves will get to their defensive alignment. As Bull, we look at this series for the Braves, a really big one on this early portion of the weekend, a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, but a big opportunity against USC Aiken.
Yeah, we wish everybody here a happy Easter. It's an Easter weekend, so not as many fans in the ballpark today, but the Pembroke faithful are still here, and the Braves are obviously ready to go. Get Sunday off as a 3-game set starts one day early.
First couple pitches, both strikes from Landon Smith to Jose Bonilla, so he's ahead 0-2. Bonilla heading towards his dugout, and he has a meeting with his head coach here in this first inning. I'll be headed back into the box. Around the outfield for the Braves is Luke Jackson in left, Roberto Rivera in center, and Kevon Perkins in right. The infield, Trey Jacobs at third, Jarrett Mobley at short, Seth Hardings at second, and Ethan Baucom at first. Trevor Clemens doing the catching. It's the 0-2 just off that lower outside edge.
That's a strong 0-2 pitch from Landon right there. He got ahead early, want to stay ahead in this game. The number 2 and 3 guys on the weekend for the Braves have struggled, but that one will do the job right there as a curveball puts them away. First out of the game.
So first man down, a strikeout to start it for Landon Smith tonight. Exactly what Landon wanted to get it going, as Philip Watcher, the second baseman, will be in next. Yesterday, the Braves posted 8 strikeouts, 5 from their reliever and 3 from their starter, Anthony Burke. Strike in lower inside edge to Philip Watcher. The victory in relief was for Gunnar Deal last night. 5 strikeouts. Did give up a 2-run home run to put the Braves behind for a little bit, but as Paul O'Neill said, did some damage control in the later innings.
Yeah, the Braves bullpen, they call themselves the back half boys, do a good job of throwing hard and pounding the zone, but they're liable to give up some big hits, some big shots, and a few runs. But when they settle in, they're very effective. The problem is this season so far, they struggle settling in the first couple of batters, and that comes back to bite them.
Another strikeout for Smith here at the start as he fires it past Philip Watcher. He used that breaking ball a couple times, and right away he's got 2 gone.
Yeah, and it's something that Braves need to be careful of. Want to make sure they don't get caught in a rut. Using the same thing, it was again another 1-2 pitch and again another curveball, so make sure they start mixing up, especially against Dalton Weeks, who had a huge day yesterday for the Pacers.
A couple 2-run home runs rather for the pair of homers in game 1. Weeks now up to 10 home runs on the season, 1 off the Peach Belt Conference lead. Smith trying to use the off-speed pitch, but it's low.
You can expect him to work backwards to him right here. Going to use a lot of the off-speed stuff early and then try and pound the zone late.
He pounds the zone with a fastball. And a ball and 2 strikes is that next over from Landon Smith.
Staying away on the outer part of the plate. Trying to get him to chase, trying to get someone off the end of the bat right here.
And the 1-2 pitch just off floor outside. Hitch Smith was about ready to go to the dugout.
Yeah, the whole left side of the infield was following him as well.
Set once again. And that is strike 3 as Landon Smith strikes out the side here in the top half of the first. 2 swinging, 1 looking. Not a bad start for the Southpaw. Braves will bat when we come back here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
Into the bottom half of the first inning, Braves struck out the side in the top half of the frame as UNC Pembroke was able to use a pair of strikeouts swinging thanks to Landon Smith. Then he got his last man look in the Braves lineup against right-handed starter Mitch Spence in the reigning Peach Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week. Will look like this. Roberto Rivera leads off. He is the center fielder for the Braves. Trevor Clemens batting second as the catcher. Connor Granger hits third. He's the DH. Trey Jacobs in the cleanup spot out of third base. Luke Jackson patrolling left. He's batting fifth. Ethan Bockham at first base hits sixth. Then it's Seth Hardings, the second baseman, batting seventh. Jarrett Mobley, the shortstop, in the eighth spot. Kevon Perkins in right field to round out the order. Mitch Spence coming off a heck of a game, a win against Columbus State in Game 2 of that series. Career-high 15 strikeouts for Spence in that complete game performance. This will be a good test for the Braves offense, which has been a good one this year.
Yeah, and the Braves do a good job of really matching the talent that they play. We've seen it a couple times already this year. They seem to play to the level of their competition, something they'll need to work on as the season progresses, but they enjoy hard-throwing pitchers. They enjoy the competition. Very competitive team. So we'll see what they do here. Got to have a good approach at the plate. Try and jump on fastballs early and then work late in the count, fighting stuff off until you get a pitch that you want to hit.
It'll be Roberto Rivera to start it for the Braves. The senior from Millville, New Jersey, to step in, and he had a big start a night ago, a triple off the base of the wall in center field, followed up with a double in his next at-bat.
And again, we talked about how the 2 and 3 game guys for the Braves have struggled a little bit, so if they can give him some run support early, it's really going to help Landon, although he settled in pretty quick in that first half of the inning.
A swing and a miss at the first for Rivera on that offering from Spence. Glad to have all of you along with us here tonight in Pembroke. A little cooler than a day ago when it was 77 at first pitch, but still comfortable, overcast skies. Rivera trying to get this to bleed into shallow right, but a good catch by Watcher on the run. One away in the inning for the Braves, and heck of an effort there at second base for Philip Watcher.
Yeah, a great read off the bat of those balls can be tricky sometimes. They look like they might maybe hit a little bit harder than initially imagined or a little softer. That was a good job of getting to a spot and keep tracking it down compared to flying the kite with his glove and kind of tracking it.
Joining Watcher on that infield, Brian Purr at first, Chandler Rogers at short, Dalton Weeks at third. The next pitch from Spence on his evening is a strike on the lower outside edge. Mr. Larry Sorrell calling balls and strikes. Kevin Morgan in the field for this two-man crew. Spence ahead of Clemens, has a 2-3 record this year, 41 of third innings, 53 strikeouts to 17 walks. Like the two starters we saw yesterday, a really good strikeout to walk ratio.
Yeah, and so it's good to see the Braves swinging early in the count, being aggressive. You know, you're trying to look for the pitch that you can hit, and if you get it, jump on it.
Next from Spence on the ground foul.
And with those strikeout numbers, you know, he's not necessarily a reliever, but they still expect him to have a good strikeout pitch to put a guy away with. We haven't seen it yet today. We're not exactly sure what it would be, but I'm sure we'll find out here.
Gets that first opportunity with 2 strikes to a batter. Got Rivera to line out to second. Clemens fouling off a curveball. Just over the tops of some fans behind that third base dugout. Expect temperatures into the upper 50s at the end of the contest tonight. Overcast skies, early morning rain, but that cleared after about 10 a.m. this morning. Clemens again able to foul off another breaking ball.
Yeah, the Braves reported to the field about 11 a.m. this morning, had their tarp pulled, and they're fairly good at it. Head coach Paul O'Neill is known on former baseball players and the current team as kind of the weatherman. He can seem to predict tarp pulls to the minute. So, gorgeous field here, Sammy Cox Field here in Pembroke.
You just saw that weatherman in the third base coaching box. Clemens keeping this in the confines, but it's foul down the left field line. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Paul O'Neill's in the third base coaching box with Jeff Jefferson on recruiting assignments this week. Alex Pierce, first base coaching box for the Braves. Clemens still fighting in this at-bat, fouling off another, and he will have pitch number 8 of the at-bat coming up.
It's a great job. Get the starter to work early, make him stress a little bit. See as many pitches as you can. You're only helping everybody else on the team. See if you can figure out any tricks or hints that he's tipping his pitches or anything like that.
Clemens a .387 hitter this season. Trying to battle still in this 2-strike counts, and he fouls off another. This is now 5 fouled off 2-strike pitches for Trevor Clemens.
Yeah, and just want him to win the battle right here. I mean, this is a quality at bat. This is going to go down in his books as a quality at bat. In the dugout, they keep track of whether they make the pitcher work or not. Now it's his job to figure out a way on and put the ball in play, make the defense work.
Look all time before this next offering. It'll drive that pitch count up a little bit, as it was 13 pitches in the top half of the frame for Landon Smith, who struck out the side. Braves lefty off to a brilliant start on the bump tonight. Spence to fire. This time making sure Clemens can't foul it off and his catcher able to block it.
Yeah, a good job moving to his right there by the catcher.
It's Blake Bottomley as the battery mate for Mitch Spence. Joey Smithers in left, Jose Bonilla in center, and Niall Goings in right. Clemens knocking it right up the middle. What a battle, an 11-pitch at bat, and Trevor Clemens comes out the victor with the single.
Phenomenal at bat right there. Finally just challenged him with the fastball, and that one didn't have as much juice on it. Left it up on the arm side, and Trevor able to get his hands extended and put it right back out the middle.
It gives way for last night's hero, Connor Granger, the 2 RBI walk-off single in the 9th for the Braves, who trailed 5-4 into the inning.
And again, that's why that strikeout that we talked about in the top half of the inning was so big. And Dalton Weeks' 2-run blast, his second one of the game last night.
Wild pitch going to bounce up and kick off the screen. Trevor Clemens to second base easily.
Come on, there he is, 40.
There's not much Bottomley can do about that one right there. That thing was spiked hard, fastball to his right. Only chance he has there is really throw a glove at it, try and pick it out, but
We mentioned the importance for the Braves in this one of getting to Mitch Spence early, considering the start he had a week ago in Peach Belt Conference play. Try to erase his memory of that career-best 15 strikeout performance. Granger knocking this with some power to the gap, using the alley with some carry. You'll see it tomorrow. Connor Granger off the scoreboard and right in the Braves out to an early 2-0 lead.
And we've said it, I mean, he hasn't really had his best stuff here so far. Spence left a hanging breaking ball up and over the zone, and Granger, an opposite field home run. A lot of power, a lot of tail, not a lot of wind, so that's a straight shot right there. Very impressive swing from the redshirt freshman.
Granger's 4th home run of the season. Trey Jacobs knows a thing or two about home runs. He has won in each of his last 2 games. Braves to their early 2-0 lead. Connor Granger must have still been feeling the juice from the 9th inning a night ago. Jacobs taking the first, and it's called a strike.
Yeah, and when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. You know, when your swing feels good, it's hard not to get out of your rhythm. It's, you know, all it takes is one swing to get you back in the motion.
High chopper, tough to play it short. Beaten out by Jacobs, giving the infield single. Great start for the Braves in this one, only a single out.
And that was off of, you know, leadoff flare. That was a nice play by Pacers second baseman, Phil Watcher, to get Roberto Rivera out. But again, Roberto Rivera showed out of the gate that this wasn't going to be a guy that was going to challenge him with his fastball. I mean, he swung on it early and let the rest of the team know that they can get the job done right here, and they're backing him up.
Luke Jackson's turn. Another lower portion of the zone called strike, and it's looking at that lower portion of the zone might be given to the pitchers here this evening. At least in this first inning, it's looked that way. Big start here for the Braves. A swing and a miss. A strikeout to the side in the top half for Landon Smith, and a 2-run homer here in the first for Connor Granger.
Settle back here.
That's the early lead for the Braves. Check over to first base. Three hits already in this opening inning. They've all come back to back to back. Clemens, Granger, Jacobs. From behind 0-2, Jackson able to see that pitch away.
And Jackson, again, another big home run threat for the Braves, already with 33 RBIs on the year. 5 blast. Only second to Ethan Baucom.
Playing out of that left field spot tonight. Took on that breaking pitch away as well. Good eye for Jackson to fight back to even in the count. Jackson for the Braves from Kinston, North Carolina. North Lenoir High School. Another check on first to easily back in Trey Jacobs. Played mostly in left field last year in his sophomore campaign. Hit .367. Very steady hitter for the Braves. Able to foul off that 2-2.
You hear P.O. just screaming foul from the third base box. Last night there was a discrepancy over a ball that went off of a batter's leg that wound up not being called foul. Pitcher fielded it, threw it over to first. Batter was called out, and P.O. was hot coming out onto the field and arguing that call. But P.O. down there at third base making sure that everybody in the ballpark knew that that one right there was a foul ball today.
He figures he could be that third base umpire, at least in the home half of the innings. Runner shows to take off and holds there, and Jackson swings through. First strikeout for Mitch Spence. Now 2 gone for the Braves, and on the heels of his 15 strikeout performance last week, he posts his first of the night here. Tough bat to face in Ethan Baucom. Didn't have a good night by his standards a night ago, and you know he's itching to try to get to Spence early in this first inning.
Yeah, Baucom, a guy that really trusts his swing, takes a lot of reps, works hard on and off the field in the weight room and out here on the field. So expect him to just keep swinging it as long as he's seeing the ball well. Again, just one swing of the bat from him. As long as he makes contact, the ball can go a very long way, as we've seen already 6 times this season.
He's in a huge rut right now, 0 for his last 15 at the plate. Takes on a pitch inside. Went 0 for 4 last night against the Pacers, 0 for 8 in the series against Shawan, and 0 for 3 in Game 3 against Georgia College back a weekend ago on the road.
Yeah, and he's in a rut, and he's still batting .319 on the season. Just shows you how hot he was at the beginning of the year. And it's funny how the game of baseball works, that everything kind of evens back out. But expect him, you know, to get hot again. Again, as we talked about with Granger, if you're feeling it, you feel good. Same thing goes when you're in that little rut, but one swing of the bat can change that around.
Granted, before that rut, he had a 7-game hitting streak, rather. Great hitters count for him here at 2-0. But even better count at 3-0.
That's a good take. Home plate umpire Sorrell really thought about it right there, stared at it long and hard. Bottomly held it for him, but decided that it was just a little bit too far outside.
Taking all the way, Bacham will see his first strike of the at-bat. Takes a long look down at Paul O'Neill. See what's on here with Trey Jacobs at first and 2 gone in this opening inning. A Connor Granger 2-run home run. He's gotten the Braves their early runs. Another check on the first base side. Granger up to 4 home runs on the season. Runs batted in 25 and 26 of the year. The shot off the left side of the right field scoreboard as we see it from here behind home plate. Swing and a miss. Counts full.
A good pitch right there on the outside part of the plate. Bacham likes getting his hands extended. Something that he can pull. He's going to have to work hard working opposite field.
Taking off with the payoff pitch to runner Jacobs. We'll have another. Pacers, we mentioned last night, only 3-2 away from home going into the series. Now 3-3 and only their 7th road game. Braves have only played 11 away from home, and they are 17-1 at home, riding a 12-game winning streak at Sammy Cox. This fly ball could be headed towards no man's land. A dive by Watcher, can't get there. Bachum's headed to second. Jacobs getting the wind at third. Going to be a play at the plate. It's off the glove of the catcher Bottomley, and Jacobs scores. Bacham able to take third on the ball out of the glove of the catcher.
What great base running by Bacham, running hard out of the box all the way. He's just trying to buy a hit right now. Maybe that's all he needed right there. A little flare, gets down, scores a run, give him an RBI, and then a great base running and heads up awareness from him. Seeing the ball come out of the glove and working hard, coming around the second base bag, keeping his momentum going and just keep rolling.
3-0 Braves now. 34th RBI of the year for Ethan Bacham. And we'll have a visit from Blake Bottomley with his starter, Mitch Spence, and a potential 4th run 90 feet away for the Braves. That's a big one with 2 outs here in this first inning. Scored a double to right field for Bacham. He got to third on the muff throw by the catcher. That is the first error of the series for either side. So after the visit, it's 3-0 Braves on 4 hits here in the first inning. Seth Hardings at the right side with Bacham at third.
That'll work.
Boxes to right. It will work. A 4-0 lead for the Braves and 1 pitch for the RBI single for Hardings.
Much different start for Spence than an outing ago. Braves are all over him. And we see the first base dugout there sending players out to the bullpen in a hurry.
Their pitching coach heading out to talk with Mitch Spence. That last outing for Spence against Columbus State, it was a complete game, 2-hitter, gave up 2 runs, has already given up 4 in this first inning. Remember, he had the 15 strikeouts last time out too. A big part of this is trying to settle him down. So he's still got a dangerous Braves lineup to face, and the Braves with 5 hits in this first inning. This is what you come to expect from UNC Pembroke, a team that perennially hits the ball really well.
Yeah, in the first half of the season, when we were out here with that big first month home stretch, averaging over 10 runs a game, and they entered PBC play, and PBC pitchers got the scouting reports, cooled them down a little bit. So this is good to see for head coach Paul O'Neill and the rest of the Braves coaching staff, seeing the Braves light up some strong pitching. Top 15 team here in USC Aiken.
Jarrett Mobley a chance to keep it going in this first inning for the Braves. Mobs is the 8 hitter Kevon Perkins behind on deck if the Braves can bring all 9 to the plate in this first inning. Mobley taking on the outside half.
It just looks like everything from Spence is up right now. I mean, there's nothing. We saw a couple pitches back-to-back that were 2 strike calls at the knees in the bottom of the zone. But other than that, we've seen a lot of his pitches, a lot of his breaking ball and off-speed stuff get left up, which is what's getting hit around. It's not really his fastball. The fastballs have been the 2 flares that have been hit, but it's really these breaking balls and off-speed pitches that are getting left up in the zone that the Braves are taking care of.
Mobley cutting on that outside half, and it's 0-2. Outside of that game against Columbus, State obviously a win. It was a pair of losses and a win in PBC appearances for Spence before that, so he's 2-2 inside of PBC play, 2-3 on the season. The other loss to Lincoln Memorial. And Mobley swinging through that as that ends the first inning for the Braves. Mobley struggling with that breaking ball here in the first inning, but not before the Braves strike for 4 runs on 5 hits. 1 error, 1 man left on base, and Connor Granger, a 2-run blast in the first. We'll see Landon Smith back on the hill after this here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician, Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
4-0 Brave lead. Landon Smith on the mound there, as it is a big lead now for the Southpaw. He went through the side in order in the top half of the inning, and he struck out the side in the first.
And it's easy for a starting pitcher to feel comfortable when you get a lead. And it's important for Landon right here to just keep pressing. Keep the pedal to the metal, pound the zone, and let your defense work.
Now Goings a power threat at the plate to start against him. Goings came up so many times with the bases empty last night. Same story here, and he hits this a mile high. Mobley behind second base, and he'll make that catch surely for the Braves.
Miles made that look very easy, but in this sky right here, that ball blends in very quickly. Trevor and I were both looking up at this guy and having a hard time pointing it out.
All overcast in Pembroke in this early evening. It'll be dark before it's all said and done as Brian Pereira, the first baseman, to stand in next for the Pacers. Everybody straight up for the Braves. Maybe a little bit into the hole on the right side for the left-handed batting Pereira. Took a pitch under the hands.
Yeah, slight shift for the lefty. Both Riv out in center field. And Seth over at second base just shaded towards the right field line.
Backup guarding the first base line as well. 2 balls, no strikes down to Pereira on the pitch high.
Come back.
Lights on here in Pembroke. Paul O'Neill giving the signs to the catcher, Trevor Clemens, out of the third base dugout. He relays them to Landon Smith.
There you go.
Smith into the count now with a strike.
It's a good job by Landon right there. Get back in the zone. Avoid a big 2-0 pitch that a batter can swing on hard. Time was still granted by home plate umpire Sorrell, so Landon will reset and we'll do it again.
Trying to get the count back to even. Still gets the breaking ball on the ground. Able to play it there for the Braves. Harding's got his pitcher covering. That's some PFP paying off here in the second inning.
Yeah, and you hear P.O. absolutely yelling, get over. That's kind of his thing, but that's a great job defensively. They were both shading the line. That allowed Braves second baseman Seth Hardings to get over. Balcom tried to pick it up. Good job by Seth setting his feet, and then a great job by Atlanta running up the line, getting parallel so that he could catch it on the run and step on the bag in one motion, while also avoiding the incoming runner, protecting himself. It's a great play all the way around.
Just your everyday 4-1. Braves trying for another 1-2-3 inning. Smith just missing the lower outside edge. He started behind all three batters here in the second. This is Joey Smithers. Smithers moving from second base to left field here for game 2. Last night he was at second. 2 balls, no strikes to him.
Come on, come back.
.299 hitter this season.
Make him earn it.
Trying to find a knock to get above 300.
Check.
Tried to check his swing.
Yep.
Called a strike anyways.
You see these pacer batters are really trying to mess with his rhythm, taking a long time stepping in the box, keeping their hand up, and for the moment being, home plate umpire Larry Sorrell was letting him mess up the rhythm, but Lennon doesn't seem to be affected by it. He gets his sign, and as soon as the umpire says let's roll, he's delivering to the plate.
Not all the Brave pitchers are super fast in their setup and delivery, but Landon Smith definitely one of those guys that likes to just get the ball and go. He's a pitch away from 2 1-2-3 frames to start. Ooh. Almost had it at the knees.
That was a great pitch. Great 2-strike pitch. A pitch that most batters are going to lay off on, but Trevor doing a good job getting his thumb up underneath it, trying to stake the pitch right there and give Sorrell a good look at it, but count runs full.
Payoff from Smith. In the air, shallow right field. Perkins has his eyes on it, and he'll make the catch out of that overcast sky for out number 3. A pair of 1-2-3 frames to start it for Landon Smith, and the Braves up to the 4-0 lead early.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
Ever wondered why our
4-0 lead into the bottom half of the second inning. Braves got to starter Mitch Spence in that first inning, and now Spence looking to try to recover after he had a 33-pitch labor-intensive first inning. 8 Brave batters came to the plate, and he'll start with Kevon Perkins here in the second.
Yeah, and starting pitchers like to get ahead early, work quickly. Braves doing a good job of making them work a little bit harder, extending pitches, and you really go back to that at bat from Trevor Clemmings that fouled, what was it, 8 pitches off is what I think it wound up coming out to. Fouled off 8 pitches and 2 strikes, and wound up getting a base hit out of it, and that really started the rally for the Braves.
Yeah, ended up winning an 11-pitch at-bat for the single before the 2-run Connor Granger home run. Kevon Perkins starts ahead in the count here in the second inning. Granger homered, then Trey Jacobs singled. He came home on an RBI double for Ethan Bockham, then RBI single for Seth Hardings. Perkins going the other way. Good start here to the second. The Braves cooking right away thanks to Kevon Perkins.
Yeah, and there's only a couple Braves without hits so far already, and we've only made it through the lineup one time. Roberto Rivera, the leadoff hitter, one of those. See if he can get it done right here.
You don't hold Roberto to many hitless games, so he'll have plenty of chances to change that. Lined out to second in the first inning. The other 2 without hits, Luke Jackson and Jarrett Mobley, each struck out swinging in the first. But you're right, the first time through the cards, 6 Braves come up with hits. Check on first base, and Perkins back over there. Perkins, 5 steals this season, hasn't been caught. Some action down in the USC Aiken bullpen.
Yeah, it looks like William Ard down there, another right-handed pitcher for the Pacers, getting ready.
Rivera will start from behind, 0-1. There'll be some options with Kevon Perkins on first. He's got a ton of speed over there, and they are going to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Pacers have already showed that they're very concerned about the Braves base runners. They've thrown a lot of pickoff attempts, some just as checks and some actually quick moves, but Braves not fooled so far as Roberto Rivera falls in an 0-2 hole.
Up 1-0 in the series, a walk-off win last night in Game 1. That's back-to-back walk-offs for the Braves at home, and 3 of their last 4 games have been walk-off winners. Home games, I should say. Perkins still safe back over there at first.
Yeah, and the Braves are getting used to you don't want to say getting used to it, but it's definitely been fun. These walk-off victories here at home from the home crowd just makes it seem that much more hype and enthusiastic. Keeps fans coming back out to the ballpark. Helped especially yesterday on a MLB opening day. A couple of fun games, walk-off win there for the professional Braves. But then the Braves here in Pembroke getting it done as well on a walk-off, so exciting day all the way around.
Our producer, Alex Cooper, likes that. Brave fan, true and true. The 1-2 pitch to Rivera. Shallow right field. It's going to fall. Little bloop single for Roberto Rivera. And making just 2 Braves left without hits as we're in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, and a great base running job by Kevon Perkins, right fielder for Aiken.
Now Goings.
Try to do a little deke move, having his glove up in the air, seeing as if he could catch it, but Perkins saw it off the bat, read it all the way. No fooling him, as was able to expand out, see the ball down, and then advance to second base safely. Roberto Rivera on first, no outs, 2 runners on. The rally starter for the Braves, catcher Trevor Clemens up at the plate.
We'll see in this spot if Paul O'Neill looks for a sacrifice to try to get 2 in scoring position with nobody out in the last speed on the base pass, but he's got a very versatile and able hitter in Trevor Clemens. Is just a few ticks under 400 on the year. Does show that bunt and bring it back. Ball and no strikes to Clemens. He had the first hit of the 7 for the Braves as he worked an 11-pitch at-bat in the 1st inning, got a single off of it to set up a 2-run home run from Connor Granger.
Pacers are already also warming up a lefty down in the pen. It's number 38, Garvin Alston Jr., so Pacers going to have a couple options.
Another good bunt from Trevor Clemens. He had a nice sacrifice in the 9th inning last night, and he sacrifices over Perkins to 3rd and Rivera to 2nd. One away for the Braves, and Connor Granger with some more RBI opportunities.
Trevor Clemens just playing the game the right way right now, fighting pitches off, not getting mad at anything, any umpire calls or anything like that, and laying the ball down. The game will pay you back for stuff like that, so good job being a good team player, helping the Braves continue the rally, put runners over in scoring position. 2 speed guys on the base pass right now for the Braves.
Granger, his 1 hit last night was a big one, the 2 RBI game-winning single up the middle. He already has a home run in this, and he's behind in the count to start. A lot of speed on the base paths for the Braves. A single would do for Granger, and the second baseman, Philip Watcher, having to hold Rivera on behind. You see a big hole to the right of Watcher. Heads back off that base in that direction. Granger trying to knock it up the middle. Watcher's over to it. Run will score for the Braves. Is Granger able to knock in Kevon Perkins? Roberto Rivera over to 3rd, and 2 gone for the Braves. A 3rd RBI on the day for Connor Granger.
And that sac bunt comes in as such. Becomes such a big thing for the Braves moving over. And double plays no longer in order. Now a run comes home to score. Another runner on 3rd base. Another very powerful hitter. Pembroke local. Braves Trey Jacobs.
Jacobs trying to find a way to drive in Roberto Rivera here in the second. An early 5-0 advantage for UNCP. In the air, shallow left field. Chance to find it for Smithers, and he makes the catch for out number 3. That does it for the Braves in their half of the second. Again, for them, another couple hits. They're up to 7 on the day. A run scores, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the third, 5-0 UNCP here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
Landon Smith already off to a great start, a pair of 1, 2, 3 innings as we go into the top half of the third inning. It is a 5-0 lead for UNCP, and Smith to face Brady O'Neill, Blake Bottomley, Chandler Rogers, the 7, 8, 9 portion of the card for the Pacers. Braves already with 7 hits. Pacers still trying to find their first. Trevor Williams with you, Alex Cooper, our producer. Jack Bullslavin will be back with us shortly. He's swinging over to PA for the time being. Line drive up the middle. There is the first hit of the night for USC Aiken, Brady O'Neill. Breaks up those first 6 retired for Landon Smith. We'll see Blake Bottomley, the catcher, next. Landon Smith will work out of the stretch for the first time, the freshman out of Archdale, a North Carolina native that prepped at Wheatmore High School. Couple straight years all-conference, all-county honors as senior, 1.20 ERA and 105 strikeouts. Gets a ground ball at short. This is tailor-made. Mobley takes it himself to second, throws on to first, and that is a double play to erase the base runner right away. Well done there by Landon Smith to dial it up to a shortstop. Jarrett Mobley is able to do the work himself, throwing on to Ethan Baca. 2 away for the Pacers, and the base is empty, and Chandler Rogers will be next in the plate. That gives Landon Smith the chance to face the minimums even through 3. So you could see just 9 in his first 3 innings if he can retire Rogers in this at-bat. Misses outside with a fastball. Landon has a couple 5-inning appearances this year. One was a winning effort, 1 a no decision. Both in PBC play against Lander and Columbus State. Splits the count to Rogers. His last time out was an inning of work against Shawan on Tuesday. Relief effort gave up 2 hits, struck out a batter. No runs against him. That was in the Braves' walk-off victory, 8-7. Tried the breaking ball, able to hold off Rogers. The win for Landon came against Lander, fittingly, on this season. His loss in his next outing at Young Harris. And misses high and outside for ball 3. Came in with 28 strikeouts to 7 walks. Has already posted 3 Ks tonight, all in the first inning when he struck out the side. Trying to get back into this count with Rogers. His second 3-ball count. And he does bring it back full. Braves will have 5, 6, 7 due up in their half of the third. Already a 5-0 lead on 7 hits. Strike 3. got his man looking, and Chandler Rogers back to the dugout on Smith's 4th strikeout of the night. He's faced the minimums through 3 innings, and the Braves lead 5-zip.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
Bottom half of the 3rd inning, it is a 5-0 lead for UNC Pembroke. Trevor Williams alongside Jack Bull-Slavin. A good start for Brave starter Landon Smith. Only 1 hit allowed his first time through the order. He faced the minimums as he got a strikeout looking to end the top half. And now Luke Jackson, Ethan Bockham, Seth Hardings due up in the home half of the 3rd. Seven to 1 that hit advantage for the Braves. Big swing here for Jackson, but it's onto the track and caught by Smithers.
And Smithers playing deep back on that warning track, so took a couple steps and caught it right on the track. But any other day, depending on how the outfield positions, that ball was hit sharply out to left field. But again, as we can see out there, he's maybe 1 or 2 steps out from the warning track right there, Trev, and there's a lot of room out in front of him.
The wind is actually blowing in from left right now as well. There's big respect for these right-handed Brave hitters. Staying back for the powerful Ethan Bockham. Bockham takes strike. Doubled in his first at-bat, an RBI double, and that snapped, as we talked about, an 0 for 15 stretch at the plate.
Yeah, and again, that one was just a little flare, not probably the sharpest hit ball he's had in that stretch. I mean, he's probably had some balls that he's hit just rockets at people and they're caught. It's funny how the game works, that the weakest ball you hit is sometimes the hit that you need to get out of the rut. So just keep swinging it, make sure that front foot gets down early so that he has time to get his hands through the zone.
Uncorks on the 1-1 and fouls it up over the top of the Braves dugout. Only Braves without a hit, Luke Jackson, who was just in the prior at-bat, and Jarrett Mobley, who is in the hole. On deck stands Seth Hardings with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Swing and a miss, and a 3rd strikeout for Pacer starter Mitch Spence.
That's probably the sharpest breaking ball we've seen from him all day right there. It was a slider that actually had some late bite to it. It got Bockham to chase, so if he's able to settle down and do that, Pacers might be able to save some of their arms that they have warming up down there. They had a righty and a lefty. Both of them have now come back to the Pacer dugout.
Seth Hardings next. Singled for an RBI in the 1st. Spence for the delivery. And a swing and a miss for Hardings.
The Braves hitters are starting to take some really big swings at these balls. They're starting to get comfortable being up 5-0, taking some home run swings. But it's important to keep getting base runners, keep putting numbers up on the board. Although a home run will do that, easier way to do it is by getting 1 hit at a time, moving them over.
The 0-1 pitch to Hardings on the ground at short, hits sharply to Rogers, and he's able to go to first for the first 1-2-3 inning of the night for Mitch Spence. As the Braves are down in order, we head to the 4th, 5-0 UNCP leading here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
Five 0 UNCP lead into the top half of the 4th inning. Landon Smith returning to the mound for the Braves. Trevor Williams alongside Jack Polslavin, Alex Cooper, our producer, the rest of our UNCP Sports Network crew. It's top of the order for USC Aiken: Jose Bonilla, Philip Watcher, Dalton Weeks. One hit the first time through the order for Landon Smith, but he raced it with a double play to face those first 9 batters in the opening 3 innings. It's kept his pitch count down as well. Gets ahead of Bonilla with the strike. A little early to talk about it, but you think definitely kind of pacing tonight for his longest outing of the year.
Yeah, this is something that head coach Paul O'Neill and the rest of the Braves coaching staff have really been looking for. They've been waiting for a young pitcher to really step up and do their job and do their part. So this is good to see right here for the Braves, especially moving forward as they start to go down the stretch. Got to win some ball games after getting swept a couple of times in PBC play. If they want to move back up those standings, these young pitchers are really going to have to pick it up.
Hard grounder, Mobley having to go off his back foot. Picked by Buckham, it's in time. What a throw out of the hole for Jarrett Mobley.
And how about that stretch over there by Balcom, almost in a full split to help his shortstop out, fielding it deep in the hole, getting rid of it quickly off his back foot and throwing a strong shot over to first base. When you're landing right there, when you're rolling and your defense helps you out, you just feel like you can do anything up there on the bump.
Landon Smith now to face Philip Watcher. So we'll excuse Jared. He'll have a chance to get his first hit of the game in the 4th in the home half. It'll be the first for the Braves to the plate there. As we were saying, he's 1 of 2 left along with Luke Jackson without a hit so far, but he made his presence known defensively there and also had the nice double play an inning ago. Landon a strike away from strikeout number 5. There it is. Got his man looking on 3 pitches.
Pacers batter looked disappointed, but there's not much to be disappointed about right there. I mean, that ball was straight over the outside corner, right on the black, and any umpire in the PBC is going to ring you up on that. Got to take some hacks. 3 straight pitches. Not going to get the job done for the Pacers.
5 Ks for Landon Smith. His career best was 9 strikeouts over 5 innings against Lander. So he's still got some work to do. Plenty of time to get it done, though, as he faces Dalton Weeks. Putting together a heck of a Game 2 outing here for the Braves, and he's ahead of Weeks.
I know the pitchers love their flow, but he is struggling keeping that hat on today up on the mound.
Out of his wind, he hits it towards center, does Weeks. He'll sit down out in front of Rivera for a base hit. Second hit for the Pacers. And the 2-out single will put Landon Smith into the stretch for the 2nd time on his evening.
The right fielder, Kyle Goings.
Weeks able to learn from the first at-bat when he struck out looking to Smith in the 1st inning. That was part of a strikeout of the side. 5-0 Braves. 7-2 their advantage in hits. Niall Goings will get to the plate with a man on. 2 days removed from a multi-home run effort. Snap throw back to first. It's behind the runner.
Yeah, Niall Goins has made his presence felt here in Pembroke before. Remember the name from last year as well. So a batter that the Braves defense is very aware of and accustomed to coming to Sammy Cox Field.
That pitch was called a strike as well to Goins. So he's behind in the count to start. Breaking ball's close on the inner half.
Yeah, just missed his spot. Looking to work up underneath them hands, give him a roll over on something. Not letting him get extended. Goins a big guy at the plate. Likes to use his leverage. Good
Nice
hop.
play at second there by Seth Hardings. That was steamed off the top of the bump. No trouble, though, for Hardings, and the Braves march right on into the home half of the fourth as they have that 5-0 lead here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
5-0 the Braves advantage. Give Mitch Spence some credit after giving up 5 in the first 2 innings. He went 1-2-3 through the Braves in the third, and now he's back out for the fourth. And it was looking dicey in that opening inning. The Pacers already had to get to the bullpen, at least to get some people stretching and warming up. But, Bull, luckily for them, they've had Spence hang on in this one.
Yeah, and they got some lucky hops and some strong defensive plays from the Braves. And Mobley deep in the hole. And then got that great hop. That ball was smoked off the mound right there, but just off the side of it and bounced right. And the Braves second baseman Seth Harding's glove, able to just field it and step on the bag and keep moving on. So hopefully the Braves can keep it rolling right here. Mobley still seeking that first hit, joining the rest of his teammates on the hit parade for the day.
7 Braves with hits, 7 different Braves. The only ones without a hit so far, Luke Jackson and this batter here, Jarrett Mobley. Jackson was the first out of that 1-2-3 third. Mobley taking on the outer half breaking ball for a strike.
Spence still on the mound for the Pacers. Struggled early. Seemed to settle down last inning, getting his first 1-2-3 frame, but misses there. Count runs 1-1 on Braves shortstop, Jerry Mobley.
Come on, Miles, slide away here.
Spence out of his wind. Mobley swinging at that breaking ball, and you see him frustrated as he walks away out of that batter's box. And that was the pitch that had him out on his front foot in his first at-bat in the first inning. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and he was down swinging.
Yeah, and he knows what he's doing. He's telling himself, you know, he's got to keep a firm front side right there. He's leaking out on the front side of his body. It's causing him to chase. Got to be able to keep his hands back and work. And does it again there.
Mitch Spence has that one figured out as that strikeout number 4 for the Pacers starter. 1 gone for the Braves. Pair of strikeouts now on Jarrett Mobley's night, but he's had the nice defensive effort. Kevon Perkins, the right fielder, next. Make it 5 straight retired for Spence, dating back to the second. Starting to find his groove like where he was a weekend ago.
And we talked about that's why it's so important just to get ahead early, and that's really helping out the Braves' young pitcher and Landon Smith and let them feel comfortable. But the Pacer team can hit, so it's important that the Braves keep pressing. keep seeing pitches, keep making Spence work later in the count as that pitch count keeps climbing.
Spence starting to feel, as you mentioned, working early. He's started ahead of his last 7 batters with the first pitch strike. Even in the count now with Perkins. Left back ahead on the swing through. Kevon a 294 average on the year. That's the low end of the Braves starting lineup. That's a good sign when your low end's hitting 294. But down looking in this at-bat, and it's back-to-back strikeouts for Mitch Spence.
Yeah, and he's really starting to pound his zone, working low, getting those calls, working in and out, mixing in the breaking balls. They've become a lot sharper in these past 2 innings. So good job by the Braves jumping out early in the ball game, but they're going to have to figure out something here to get a couple more.
Six straight retired by Spence. It's back at the top of the order with the Braves, Roberto Rivera.
Good frame job right there by Pacers catcher Bottomley. That ball was definitely off the plate, and he pulled that thing back quick. The full home plate umpire, Larry Sorrell, get the first strike.
8 straight first pitch strikes, but it won't matter as Rivera finds some real estate past the glove of Rogers into left field.
There it is. That's a good job by Riv right there. You go and 2-out hitting for the Braves is always going to be extend the inning. You talk about extending the inning, making the pitcher work just a little bit longer. So that's a good job by Roberto Rivera. Figuring out a way on base, figuring out a way to extend the inning, let the Braves keep passing the stick along, keep making them work, let him stay out there just a little bit longer.
And the guy who made it a long first inning for Mitch Spence, Trevor Clemens, stepping up now. Ten-pitch at-bat in the first. I think we had counted at 11. It was a 10-pitch at-bat in the first. He singled in that at-bat after fouling off 2 strike pitches on 5 occasions. Another check on first. Same result with Rivera back in safely. Eight hits for the Braves after that single for Rivera. 2-hit game for him. Showed that he's going to take off. Stayed a bit closer to the bag. Clemens able to foul it off a protective swing there. It's one of those ones where you see, I think, Rivera get his jump and then kind of didn't feel it, so was able to throw on the brakes.
Yeah, you want to test the ground a little bit, and it might have been a set play or it might have been his thing to try and help Trevor out, get something up in the zone as Spence tries and quick pitch to help his catcher out. Ball gets left elevated, and then all of a sudden Clemens can get the job done, but you heard him fool the Pacer dugout, everybody yelling runner. As a staff or as a program, you always want to wait for the third hard step. After the third hard step, that's when you're yelling runner. The catcher's still going to have time. By that point, the ball's just being delivered. The catcher can react quick enough, but you don't want him to come up out of his crouch. It's going to impact home plate umpire Larry Sorrell's vision. So, good job by Roberto Rivera right there to fool him a little bit.
Another check over on that first base side, and again, Rivera's safe. Trying to keep him close to the bag. 13 steals, only been caught on 3 occasions this season. That's over 80% on the base paths in terms of swiping bags, and he's scored runs 33 times this year. They have to go all the way from first to home with 2 outs here in the inning.
Roberto Rivera had him timed up right there and just thought that he was going to get picked off because he had so much daylight and nobody ever checked on him or said anything, and he decided to shut it down. But he was easily 15 feet out right there.
Continues to have eyes on him at first base, especially after you mentioned that last pitch for Spence. I think he realized he got away with one in terms of the runner at first, Rivera. Now he wants to keep him close to the vest once again. Rivera got a huge lead one more time, an extended lead. It's fouled off by Clemens.
And Roberto Rivera's got him timed up right now. He's just not trusting himself. And if you've got it, take it. I know you don't want to get thrown out to end the inning, but if you've got them timed up that well and have your feet rolling already, just keep going. They got to make 2 clean throws to get you.
Talking about the Braves leader in stolen bases out of this order, leading off at first base. Good stop by the catcher Bottomley to make sure that Rivera has to stay planted over there.
First time we've seen Spence mix up his looks and his timing to the plate. Gave 3 checks there compared to the past that he's kept doing 2, which is what Riv's been timing on him.
Two outs for the Braves here in the bottom of the 4th. They scored 4 in the first, 1 in the second. The move to first, it was close. Rivera got back ahead of it.
Yeah, and you wonder at this point, is it trying to keep him close, or is it just trying to wear him out? The more and more Roberto Rivera has to dive and get back up and dive and get back up, might take just a little bit off of his speed.
Clemens fouls off a 2-strike pitch. We've seen this narrative before. A 7th pitch of this at-bat coming up, and Paul O'Neill's giving the signs out of the third base coaching box, but here with 2 outs, they haven't put a steal on for Rivera. He's, I think, had a couple opportunities to get his timing of it, but again, it's kind of one of those ones. Some of your best base stealers, you might give him the opportunity to say, if you can time that jump, go ahead, but Rivera just hasn't had it.
Yeah, and he's had the timing. You definitely feel that with him being the Braves' stolen base leader, and as you mentioned, 80% success rate or just over it. I mean, you give him the green light and say, hey, if you've got it, take it. It's only going to help us out, putting you in scoring position.
2-2 to Clemens. Rivera does go this time. It brings the shortstop over to second, and wouldn't that be fitting as the throw to first is for out number 3. That would have been a base knock if Rivera wasn't in motion, but instead it puts an end to the 4th for the Braves. We head on to the 5th, then. It's a 5-0 UNCP lead.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
Top half of the 5th inning, Landon Smith is having a nearly perfect outing for the Braves. Has given up just a couple of hits through his first 4 innings of work, and he has a 5-0 lead. Also has posted 5 strikeouts, 4 off his career high. If he gets through this inning, he ties his high for the year in innings pitched. I think he is well on pace to go past that tonight. 50 pitches through his first 4 innings.
Yeah, that's pretty efficient right there for Landon. See catcher Trevor Clemens coming back out after ending the frame. But again, you want him to keep working. He found his rhythm that he likes, getting the ball, gets set up on the rubber, and is just pounding the zone tonight. So as long as they can keep that rhythm right there, we've seen pacer batters try and mess it up by calling time and stepping out and taking their time to step into the box. But as long as the Braves keep making plays behind him and he keeps being efficient early in the count, I expect him to go a little bit further in this game than we've seen him go all year.
It'll be Brian Pereira to face him to start at the top of the 5th. Pereira was a ground-out victim on a great play by Seth Hardings out of second base back in the 2nd inning. He backed up Ethan Bacham behind first and then threw back to Landon Smith covering. One of many plus defensive plays for the Braves tonight, and Smith is ahead on 1.
Yeah, these defensive plays have what's really let the pitch, have let Landon keep rolling, keep going. You know, you make these defensive plays, you keep the runners off base, he can keep working out of the windup compared to the stretch. He's not laboring as much, able to use his legs and allow him to keep pounding the zone. And he did a great job helping himself out on that play to Seth when He was backing up Balkum.
It's close to strikeout number 6, just teasing that outside edge of the black. Good defense has been a hallmark here in the series for the Braves. No errors last night. Both teams played error-free, in fact. They've had some big plays already. The fly ball into center, this will be no trouble for Rivera. He's got his beat on it. One gone here in the top half of the frame for the Pacers.
Yeah, and currently today, Pacers with 1 error on the board. Braves still error-free. That 1 error did cost the Pacers a run on a relay throw off of that Balkum double, RBI double that he got. Allowed him that throw, the error, allowed Balkum move from second to third with the bad throw, and then the muff catch by the Pacers catcher, Bottomley.
4 innings of work for Mitch Spence at the start for the Pacers. He's given up 8 hits, the 5 runs, 5 strikeouts, and no walks for him. Landon behind in this at-bat, but so far his line at 4 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, also without a walk, and he's also registered 5 strikeouts. Gets the ground ball foul on the third base side. Right past USC Aiken head coach Kenny Thomas. If his Pacers can grab a win in this series, it'll be win number 1,200 for Coach Thomas. Breaking ball for strike 2. Smithers now behind in the count. And Landon Smith has had nice feel for that curveball. Here comes his 2-strike offering. A check swing, but they say 1 around. Smithers on a race to first with Clemens throwing on that drop third strike, and he's able to get it there for out number 2. Strikeout number 6 for Landon Smith, and 2 away for the Pacers.
Good job by Trevor, recognizing it was a check swing and jumping on it quickly. Able to pick it up and then just flip it over to Balkum, who was in position on the outer half in foul territory to receive the throw.
Curveball for strike 1 to work him ahead, and very confident in that pitch now, Landon Smith. Using it as his first pitch here to the batter, Brady O'Neill. Again, that was close and just off the zone for home plate umpire Larry Sorrell. Brady O'Neill, a native of Maryland. Out of Arnold, Maryland. Just a freshman here for the Pacers. Now 2-1 to him.
Landon just juggling that hat all day. And he's caught it pretty much every time. Actually, pretty impressed that he's able to catch it on his follow through almost every pitch. But I guess whatever works, right, Trevor?
He's been letting that flow grow, I guess, this year, and maybe they told him 1 cap limit. High chopper, third base side. Jacobs to it. Across the diamond. Nice stretch by Balkum to reel it in, and that's a 1-2-3 frame for Landon Smith as he puts down those Pacers in order to hold on to a 5-0 lead here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
5-0 UNCP lead, and Mitch Spence, the way his night started, might not have thought he would be in this spot into the bottom of the 5th inning, as the Braves got 4 runs off him early, then 1 in the 2nd, but he's posted a couple scoreless frames since. He's hanging on for the Pacers, but they've had trouble cracking the code of Landon Smith. In fact, on the other side of things, no runners in scoring position yet for USC Aiken, and that's led to a fairly easy night for Landon.
Yeah, when we talked about the impressive defensive plays from the Braves, working error-free, and if you can do the fundamentals, if you can do the little things right in a ball game, talked about as well with Trevor's at bat, getting the sacrifice bunt down, fouling pitches off. You do the little things in a ball game, you put yourself in a chance to win, and hopefully avoid the walk-off situation that the Braves have become so accustomed to in late innings.
They're trying to snap a stretch of 3 consecutive series losses in Peach Belt Conference play, and they could wrap up a series win tonight. Only at the halfway point so far, with Granger knocking the first pitch on the ground at short. Tough footing for Rogers, having to field it on the run by his left shoe, but he made the throw in time for out number 1.
Yeah, and a good job getting the high hop there. As soon as you let the ball bounce twice, that ball seems to skip. A lot of top spin rotation that comes off of a ground ball. So a good job getting the high hop and keep working across the diamond, letting his momentum take the ball over to first base compared to trying to set his feet and getting caught up in himself. Getting Granger over there at first base for the first out of the inning.
Trey Jacobs will continue it for the Braves. An 8-hit night for UNCP. 7 of those 8 hits in the first 2 innings, though, and Spence has settled down since. Bunt shown, pulled back on a strike offering to Jacobs.
I don't mind it right there. Mixing it up, give him a different look. Braves have struggled getting base runners here in the past couple innings, so do something a little bit different. Keep the defense on their toes, maybe bring that outfield in a little bit as they're still drifting out towards that warning track.
1-0-1 now to Jacobs, and he was 2 for 4 last night with a pair of runs scored, drove in a run as well. Trey this season has knocked in 37, pacing the Braves in that category. Strike 2 to Jacobs. Both pitchers getting a good feel for that breaking ball.
One-two pitch on the way from Spence.
And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 7 for him. 2 gone for the Braves. Excuse me, strikeout number 6. Luke Jackson will be next for UNCP. Breaking ball just missing there to Jackson. Two-hitter on the other side for Landon Smith through his first 5 innings. He's tied his high on the year for innings pitched. Right back up the middle for Jackson. And he's now the 8th of the Braves lineup to come up with a hit in this game. We're only missing Jarrett Mobley in the hit parade. The 2-out single keeps the inning going for the Braves, gives them a chance to rally.
This is what the Braves struggled with just a series ago, of getting a ton of hits and just not being able to string them together. Good job extending the inning again this inning, but we need to see some Braves batters get them in a row. See if Baucom can get a fire going for the Braves.
The Rockingham native following up on the team's 9th hit. The only multi-hit performance tonight so far belongs to Roberto Rivera. Runner goes, bunt on the third base side, and it's foul. And the Braves trying to surprise USC Aiken there a little bit, as you see Paul O'Neill had that play on for his Braves.
Yeah, good job doing it early in the count. Try and get a drag down. Baucom, although a big guy, has played a lot of time in the outfield for the Braves, does have a good amount of speed. Can get down the line in a hurry.
He's trying to help the Braves work with a 2-out base runner here in the bottom of the 5th. Spence trying to vary that delivery time, and then Bauckham finally calls time to break it up. Could see him continuing to tip that cap as he was pacing for that bat to Bauckham. This time fires right on home, and it's fouled off.
Bauckham in an 0-2 hole. Got him last time on a slider. Bauckham got caught chasing the outside part of the plate. Bauckham needs to do a good job here working back up the middle.
Lead off of first for Luke Jackson after his single here in the inning. One up the middle of the diamond. Time called once again. See Spence with that check of first base. Ready for his 0-2 delivery. Bauckham hits it to short, took a rough hop on Rogers, but he was able to go to Watchers still to recover right at the end of that bounce, and it is out number 3 for the Braves. On to the 6th, so it's a 5-0 lead. Landon Smith will continue on what's been a 2-hit performance for him on the mound so far here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
5-0 UNCP lead into the top half of inning number 6. Landon Smith has only surrendered 2 hits so far. He will face 8-9-1 for the Pacers: Blake Bottomley, Chandler Rogers, and Jose Bonilla. See Bottomley ready to stand in there. First pitch strike delivered to Bottomley. A breaking ball off the zone, 1-1.
Bottomley struggling at the plate so far this year, batting well below the Mendoza line. They use him for his defensive skills. We've already seen a couple big blocks from him, keeping runners at bay. His ability to work with the pitching staff, but they would love to see him help the lineup out a little bit. They have him tucked down in the bottom of the order, trying to hide him, but definitely an out that Landon needs to get, work through him. Don't want to give any of the hitters that are struggling any help.
2-1 from Smith, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Bottomley is from Parkland, Florida, and yes, he did go to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. At the plate here in the top half of the 6th inning. And it's now 3-2 with that count full. Bottomley, a few years removed there from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, a junior for the Pacers. Payoff pitch on the ground, left side, took a low hop on Jacobs. He's across the diamond to Bauckham for out number 1 in the top half inning number 6.
Good job by Landon, thanking his teammates, pointing at him, telling him good play. That's what you want from a young guy.
1 out, top half of inning number 6. It is now the longest outing for Landon Smith on the season. Had gotten to 5 innings a couple times this year, and last against Columbus State on the road March 10th. Pitch on past Chandler Rogers. A ball, no strikes. We have some action in the Braves bullpen.
Yeah, it's going to be number 51, Trace Hagler, an arm that head coach Paul O'Neill likes to bring out of the pen quite often. Suffered Tommy John just, I believe, a year ago and has come back and has put in some solid innings for the Braves so far this year. Throws hard, throws straight over the top. Big right-hander from the Braves that'll mix up the look for the Pacers, going from Landon's lefty southpaw side to the righty. We'll see if that move's made, and when it's made, as Landon continues to just pound the zone.
And lose the cap.
And lose the cap. Story of the day.
That time not able to catch it. If he wants to keep losing the cap and throw 2 hitters, it's all good.
Yeah, we won't fault him for that.
Just keep doing you, my man. He gets the chopper in foul ground on the third base side.
Make for some great photos. Maybe a good caption of this contest coming up on UNCP social media. Make sure you follow us on our social media pages, UNCP_sports on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
What are you, the director of fan engagement?
I mean, got to promote my job.
Can't blame you. 2-2. Smith lost the cap again. Thought he could get strike 3. Everybody's straight up around the infield and the outfield. Smith looking to post his 7th strikeout. Takes his long look into Clemens. Swing and a miss. Got his 7th man of the night. That time Rogers swinging. He's been down twice. Once looking and now swinging to Landon Smith. They'll take it back to the top of the card. Jose Bonilla, the center fielder, to bat next.
Landon again on the mound, ready to roll. Pacers batter Bonilla doing the same thing as they were trying to do earlier in the game to mess up the rhythm. Taking his time, stepping in the box, throwing his hand up, asking for time. But again, Landon has a sign, ready to roll, wind up, and delivers.
Lost that cap once again. It's a ball, no strikes to Jose Bonilla. Strikeout victim swinging in the first and a ground out to short in the 4th.
Bonilla turns and shows bunt, pulls it back as the fastball rides high. Landon falls behind again as count runs 2-0 on the Pacers Bonilla.
9 hits for the Braves, 2 for USC Aiken, and a 5-0 lead for UNCP so far. Trace Hagler working in the bullpen. Landon Smith trying to make it 6 innings. He's back into the count at 2-1. That would get him the quality start opportunity.
You know, a lot of pitching coaches and catchers and head coaches talk about how pitchers are weird creatures and how they each have their habits. And Landon's habit is definitely picking up the hat. But whatever he's got to do to keep his mind off of pitching and not think and just throw. Little Bull Durham reference right there for all the Durham natives. But to keep pounding the zone, then
it's getting hard to not laugh when Landon, after every pitch, is losing that cap. That time did not, but he does issue his first walk of the night to Jose Bonilla. So a 2-out base runner for USC Aiken. Trevor Clemens will go have a chat with Landon Smith and just try to make sure that he can help coach him through this 6th inning. Meet up there for the quick chat. Clemens will head on back behind the dish. Braves up a game in the series, winning game 1 on the strength of a walk-off last night. 2 RBI walk-off single for Connor Granger. He started the scoring tonight with a 2-run home run to right field.
yeah, an absolute shot, opposite field home run for Granger. Get the Braves rolling again after Trevor Clemens. Quality at bat, finishing out with that single up the middle as Clemens does a good job right there. Shifting out to his left, keeping the ball in front of him and keeping Bonilla at bay over at first base.
First two of the inning, Bottomley and Rogers were down on the ground out in a strikeout, and it's now ball and a strike to Watcher. Should be, it is a ball and a strike. Pop up to third, Trey Jacobs. They'll have the easy catch for the Braves, and that's 6 innings strong for Landon Smith. As UNCP, really good start from their lefty, out to a 5-0 lead.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
5-0 Braves. Still Mitch Spence on the mound for USC Aiken. Bottom half of the 6th inning, it'll be Seth Hardings, Jarrett Mobley, Kevon Perkins for UNC Pembroke. At home in this series, trying to grab a 2-0 lead in this 3-game set in Peach Belt Conference play and a big PBC series. The Braves with 12 straight wins at home at Sammy Cox, 17-1 at home on the year, and they have not minded playing in Pembroke this season.
Yeah, the Braves love Sammy Cox Field, love staying at home here in Brave Nation. Have a good fan following, do a good job. People coming out, even here on Easter weekend, it's still a strong showing from the fans, especially the Pembroke faithful. A lot of students see the wrestling team, stuff like that, that's hosting a camp tomorrow that weren't able to go home, are still out here supporting the Braves baseball team and trying to bring home a series win.
The students were off from class today. Baseball still happening tonight, and then we've got the conclusion of the series tomorrow at 2 o'clock first pitch. It'll be here on the UNCP Sports Network as well. Seth Hardings open the bottom of the 6th at the plate for the Braves. He takes on a strike. Hardings a single in the first, grounded out to short in the 3rd. Spence for his next delivery. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves bats have been quiet since the 2nd inning. 4 runs in the first, 1 in the 2nd. All zeros on the board since.
Yeah, a couple 2-out hits for the Braves, but again, just not able to string them together here so far. Late. That ball was a little chin music for the Braves' second baseman. The count moves back in his favor.
Gives him an opportunity after he had that single back in the 1st inning. Seth trying to put together a multi-hit night. He had 1 last night and a 1-for-4 outing. He takes strike 2. Braves multi-hit performances a night ago belong to Jarrett Mobley, Trey Jacobs, and Roberto Rivera. Roberto Rivera, the only with multiple hits so far. Jarrett Mobley stands on deck as the only Brave without a hit tonight. Count full now to Hardings. Nice sunset brewing over the left field fence. Payoff pitch coming to Hardings for Mitch Spence. And it's too high. Above letters for ball 4. And the Braves have a leadoff base runner in the bottom of the 6th.
And still a gorgeous night. Sun's starting to set. Cooler air starting to flow in a little bit, but still just a beautiful evening to be at the ballpark here in Pembroke, North Carolina.
And Jarrett Mobley will be the next batter for the Braves. Pair of strikeouts. He's going to try to get it figured out here in this third at bat as he is struggling with the curve here so far tonight.
And again, just that lone Brave batter in the starting lineup that's trying to join that hit parade. So hopefully he can get it done here. Get a rally going for the Braves here in the bottom of the 6th.
Lead at first now for Seth Hardings after the leadoff walk here in the home half. They'll check on him and he's safe.
Yeah, and Pacers pitcher Spence does this a lot. Anytime runner gets on first, he loves checking him, mixing up a couple different moves. Every move's a jump move, but his timing on it, whether it's coming out of the set, whether it's coming out of the stretch, or whether he's already set, based off of when he's checking the runner.
It was delivered with Mobley showing bunt. It trails outside. That was the first delivery home to Jared Mobley here in the bottom of the 6th. Remember, Trace Hagler was up in the pen for the Braves a half inning ago. We see a walkout for the pitching coach here for the Pacers. Don't know that he's going to go take Spence out in this spot, but he might buy a little time for a bullpen that has not been throwing yet here in the inning, but has been called on at times tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you see him working on pitching mechanics with his starter that had it all figured out. His job was fairly easy as a pitching coach his last outing, but had to work a little harder right here. Telling him that his arm's dragging. It's the reason a lot of his stuff's been kept up, and we've seen that for the majority of the game today. He figured it out for the past couple innings. A lot of stuff was worked down, a lot of movement on the ball, but as soon as that arm drags, ball's going to get left up in the zone. Breaking ball is not going to have a lot of bite to it, and that's what the Braves batters have been able to take advantage of.
So it is 1-0 the count. Mobley putting a bunt down foul. Actually, no, it was off of Mobley, so it's a strike and into second base is Hardings. They said he missed on the bunt, but that allows the runner to move in that spot, Seth Hardings. So now man in scoring position for Mobley with nobody out. Mobley does get this bunt down to the right of the mound. A look at third first. That gives Jared an opportunity. They call him out at first.
Mobley throwing his hands in the safe motion. He's doing everything he can. So give me that hit. Let me join the parade. But great job of doing his job, getting the bunt down. A tough pitch thrown towards his chest, able to put it in fair territory on the third base line. A good job by Hardings, reading the ball on the ground, advancing over to third. Spence able to flip his feet, check third, and realize he didn't have a chance there, and so able to make a play over at first base. Mobley.
I think it was surprising he even checked third. I mean, it was a well-placed bunt with the runner moving. He almost cost himself a chance at the out.
Yeah, it's somebody's got to be talking to him right there. They got to know that the speed of the Braves second baseman is too quick. He saw the bunt down, and he's got to know that a ball up that third base line with the third baseman's back, he's the only one that can get to it. He's got to be able to field it, flip his hips, and make a strong throw. And it's impressive that he was able to put that throw right on the money, get Mobley.
Infield's in now for the Pacers. They do not want to give up a sixth run. They've already got a big hill to climb in the late innings. Perkins taking a strike here in the at-bat, 1-1.
Also see the Pacers outfield move in as well, trying to cut down a run at the plate. Kevon not really a power hitter, but has the ability to run a couple balls in the gaps.
He liked the gap one here with one out in the sixth. Took a big swing at it, but fouled it off. Straight back.
Perkins already with 5 doubles on the year, 2 triples, so has the speed that we talked about once he puts the ball in the gap. So looking to put a ball in play, something deep in the outfield, a 1-2 count. Really just want to put a ball in the play, make the defense work, see if you can get one through the infield that's already in.
See that lead runner there, Hardings. Perkins, the high chopper. Hardings going to break for the plate. Chopper's going to let the run home, and Perkins is safe on the infield single. Don't have to hit it a long ways when you can do that.
Again, speed kills, right? Speed kills. able to just put the ball in play, do a good job shortening up, try and beat it into the ground, and get it done.
RBI single for Kevon Perkins, his second hit of the game. It scores Seth Hardings, and that's RBI number 18 on the year for Perkins as we go back to the top of the order. Roberto Rivera for the Braves.
Let's go, Bert. Stay hot, Bert.
The Braves now into double digits in hits with their 10th of the night. And they are 15-3 this year when getting to the double-digit mark in hits. A check on first, and Perkins is there. The only 3 games the Braves have not won with double-figure hit totals: an 18-16 loss against Augusta, and a 2-1 loss to Georgia College, an 18-7 loss to Georgia College. That 1 run for the Braves against Georgia College, by the way, their season low in scoring this season. Thanks to Todd Anderson for the information in game. Pitch missing to Rivera. It's a ball, no strikes. Kevon Perkins aboard at first after the RBI single to make it a 6-0 Braves lead. Beautiful sky tonight here in Pembroke. Again, a look to first. Perkins is single in the second. His single here for his second hit in this inning, with Rivera going the other way into right field on the ground. Perkins is going to move around second, take a big turn. Now he's caught. Perkins will be in a rundown. Rivera is taking second, anticipating the second out, and there it is. Heads up for Roberto Rivera to move into that spot at second base and make sure that he's into scoring position at the very least for the Braves.
Just when you're too fast for your own good, can't throw the brakes on hard enough. Got caught coming around second base. Good job by the Pacers. Hit their cutoff man and allow a play to be made in a rundown.
So Trevor Clemens with a 6-0 Braves lead. Roberto Rivera into scoring position. 11 hits for the Braves after that single for Rivera, his third hit, and there's that beautiful Pembroke sky tonight. Doesn't get much more picturesque than that. Great evening at the ballpark. Rivera breaks, and the ground ball's foul. Rivera had a great jump on that. He'll be headed back to second base. Still waiting at that left side will be Trevor Clemens for the next pitch of his at-bat. It is 0-2. The Braves freshman backstop trying to move Roberto Rivera along here in the bottom of the sixth and add to a 6-0 lead. Braves snapped a 3-inning scoreless stretch with their run here in the frame. Clemens fouling it off. It stays 0-2. Braves won game 1 last night of the series 6-5 walk-off fashion. Again, sitting on 12 straight home wins, trying to make it 13. And it'll be their first series win in their last 4 in PBC play. Checker Rivera at second base. Couple looks there for Spence. Clemens again fouling off a 2-strike offer. 10-pitch at-bat in the first inning, and then he got a 7-pitch at-bat out of it in the fourth. He'll already be on to his 5th pitch of this at-bat. Some high-quality at-bats for Trevor Clemens, who has just 1 hit to show for it. Also had a sacrifice bunt well placed in the second inning. That was for the Braves' 5th run after a 4-run first and a single run in inning number 2. A check swing, ball is off to the right side of the catcher, bottom lane, over to third base goes Rivera. He is holding his right leg a little bit too, Roberto Rivera, and I think this is stemming back to his steal opportunity earlier, as there's a check of the field umpire to see if Clemens went around on that pitch. It's a ball and 2 strikes, and he is trying to stretch it out He was kind of caught as he was running into third base earlier in this inning on the steal try, and it looked like he had a little hitch in the giddy up getting to third. For right now, though, stands okay and just continues to try to stretch it out. 1-2 the count to Trevor Clemens. Clemens hitting this high and shallow in left field. Shortstop going back out for it, and Chandler Rogers will be able to make that catch for out number 3. Does it for the Braves through 6. We go to inning number 7 and a 6-0 lead for the Pacers, or for the Braves over the Pacers here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
Beautiful night in Pembroke, North Carolina. Sun setting and the Braves leading 6-0 over the USC Aiken Pacers. Trevor Williams alongside Jack Bullslaven and our producer Alex Cooper as the Braves will stay with Landon Smith into the top half of the 7th. Through 6 innings with the 6-0 lead. Braves going for their 12th consecutive win. 77 pitches so far for Landon Smith. Mitch Spence on the other side is up to 98 through his 6 innings, and that's been a hard-fought 6 innings for Mitch Spence after giving up 4 runs in the first and really settling down from that point on. Dalton Weeks to lead off the top of the 7th, then Niall Goings, Brian Pereira due up for the Pacers. A little housekeeping out of the last inning. Pereira moved to catcher, and Blake Bottomley moved to first base. We will see Pereira as the 3rd to come to bat here in the inning. Comes a turn on the offering home, and it's on the ground towards short to Mobley, scooped up, and his throw to Backham in time for out number 1.
Right fielder number 34, Niall Goings.
Mobley making some nice defensive plays tonight at short. He's also had a sacrifice bunt on the offensive side of things. Braves with 6 runs on 11 hits. Again, they've only lost 3 times this year and have come away with 15 wins when they have gotten to a double-digit hit total. Fastball snapping off the lower outside edge, 1-0. Only 2 hits given up so far by Smith, with 1 out into the top half of the 7th. Brilliant start here for the UNCP lefty. Two balls, no strikes to Goings. Goings 0 for 2 in this one, 0 for 6 in the series after the multi-home run night on Wednesday this week against North Greenville. That was a non-conference play for the Pacers. Smith angling a fastball up and away, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Trace Hagler was in the bullpen earlier for the Braves an inning ago. They continue with right-handed action in that bullpen down the line. A strike to get back into the count for Smith. Still Hagler out there in the pen. Time called here before the next offering to Goings. Already the longest appearance of the year for Landon Smith. is 3-1. Gets the count full. What's become his signature tonight, losing the cap after the pitch. Landon, when you look at hits allowed, his best outings, it's a little different when you look at his relief outings. Obviously, some of those 2 hits would fool you and make you think it's the best. Still 3-2 to go and he fought off that payoff pitch. Gave up 2 hits against Indiana, Pennsylvania back on February the 10th. That was in relief. And his 3-2 just missing to Goins. He thought he had the lower outside edge, but it walked and out Goins. So 1 out base runner for USC Aiken. A week later against Augusta, Landon was the starter. And again, 2 hits. So for him, there on that game against Augusta, that was his best in hits allowed, but it was only over 4 2/3 innings, opposed to him now being through 6 1/3 tonight in Pembroke. Brian Pereira, the catcher, next. Only 2 hits for the Pacers, but they now get a base runner in Niall Goings here in the 7th. They've had a base runner each of the last 2 innings, 3 of their last 4, but they still have not gotten a man into scoring position tonight. That's kept the pressure down on Landon Smith. He hasn't had to have a lot of those high stress pitches tonight. Only the marking for USC Aiken so far, only 0 for 3 with runners on base. They've only had those slim opportunities. Now head 0-2 to Pereira. Mix out with nobody in scoring position and 1 for 7 on 2 out hitting, and that tells you the story of Landon Smith's dominance this evening. He has registered 7 strikeouts along the way as well. The walk here in the frame is second. Breaking ball, hammered down the right field line. This will be the first scoring position chance for the Pacers as Goings easily into third base, and corner runners for the Pacers on a good 2-strike hitting for Brian Pereira to make it first and third. Joey Smithers an opportunity. Paul O'Neill standing near the front of the Braves dugout on the third base side as you see Goings down to third base as that first runner in scoring position comes with 1 out in the 7th for USC Aiken. And they will have a chance to chat with their next batter, Joey Smithers, while Trevor Clemens goes out to talk with Landon Smith. Smith, the youngster, in this spot. Again, it's not as huge of a deal to give up a run in this opportunity with the 6-run cushion, but does want to be careful to not let it swell here in the 7th inning of what's already been a great start for the Southpaw. Joey Smithers against him so far, flew out to right field in the 2nd, struck out swinging in the 5th. And that visit for Clemens was just to buy some time. So it looks like Paul O'Neill will now head out, call his infield together, and you think in this spot might go get the baseball from Landon Smith and call on his bullpen. Nope. Just gonna start wiping off the rubber, and now he will take that baseball away. So Landon Smith will be done at 6 1/3. He's responsible for the corner runners, but hasn't given up a run so far. A great outing for the Brave Southpaw. He's put him in position. He'll turn it over to the bullpen. We'll take a timeout, come back, tell you about the new arm, Trace Hagler, after this here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
Trace Hagler will be the new arm for the Braves in the top of the 7th. 1 out, and he inherits corner runners from Southpaw starter Landon Smith, who went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits. We're still opening the book on those runs. He's responsible for the corner runners at first and third. Finished his night with 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. So Landon gives way for Hagler, and the redshirt junior right-hander out of Kannapolis warms up in this spot. You see his stats there, 10 appearances, a 2-1 record over 10 innings. The ERA is up. He's had a few performances in relief where he's given up multiple runs. 2 outings ago, 4 earned runs. His last outing against Shawan, though, on Tuesday was in that walk-off win for the Braves. He went 1 inning, didn't give up a hit. Registered a strikeout and a walk in that frame. So look to have a performance like that in this one as the Pacers have their first runner in scoring position there in Niall Goings at third base. Took him until the 7th to get that runner to second or better. Goings was on first for the single for Brian Pereira. Now Joey Smithers. This pitching change offers a matchup betterment for the Braves as well. Righty on righty. Offering from Hagler. Breaking ball that finds the knees. Groans from the USC Aiken supporters that have come up north here to Pembroke. Last night, game 1 was very entertaining. Back and forth seesaw battle that saw the Braves come out on top in the 9th with their walk-off thanks to Connor Granger. Ball to strike to Smithers now. Granger also started the scoring tonight with a 2-run jack in the first. His 4th of the year, found the left side of the scoreboard as we see it out in right field. Hagler's 3rd pitch in relief. A good breaking ball to get ahead in the count. Has struck out at least a batter in each of his last 4 outings. All of his appearances out of the pen for the Braves. Trying to post his first strikeout of the night here. Fastball drifted just off the outer half. A 2-1 record with no saves for Hagler so far. 13 strikeouts to 5 walks on the season. And a total of 13 earned runs allowed in his 10 innings of work. Could use a strikeout pitch here with the runner in scoring position, 90 feet away at third, Niall Goings. Would probably trade out for a run in this spot, no problem, though, the way that his offense has worked tonight as well. And his 2-2 pitch. At the knees, a fastball that has Smithers looking. He's down for a 2nd time in the game, and Hagler wastes no time coming in out of the bullpen to register the strikeout. His first on the heels of 7 strikeouts for Landon Smith. And now an out away from getting Landon out of his start untouched. Landon still waiting in that dugout to see what his earned run tally will be. Only gave up 3 hits in his 6 1/3 innings. Brady O'Neill next, the designated hitter. He takes on an offering just too low. Braves trying to improve to 22-8 this year. 20-11 for USC Aiken, their record on the season. 11-5 in PVC play. The Braves could get back to 500 tonight in conference action. And the 1-0 from Hagler. Evens the count, a snap throw back from Clemens, and the runner back to the bag in time was Pereira. Hagler's wins came against Augusta and then on the road at Winston-Salem State. His lone loss at Georgia College in Peach Belt Conference play, and now a visit for Brady O'Neill down with his 3rd base coach. Chat with his skipper here in this spot. They talk about this opportunity with a ball and a strike and 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Goings at third. At first is Pereira in the top half inning, number 7. Trace Hagler trying to get the fans to stretch here in Pembroke. Breaking ball almost lost on the inner half. Just misses O'Neal. This was the night the Braves envisioned. Some great pitching coupled with timely hitting, especially early on in the opening 2 innings where they struck for 5 of their 6. Hagler missing. Once again, it's 3-1. His count was at 2-2 and he struck out Smithers. He'll have to work it back to full or get his out on this pitch to end the top of the 7th now. USC Aiken dugout coming alive. One of its first times tonight on the offensive side of things, and it's a walk of Brady O'Neal. O'Neal will take first, Pereira to vacate second. At third, Niall Goings.
Just a base hit, Rio. Come on now, let's go.
We'll have a change here for the Pacers as well. Pinch hitter,
Pinch hitter, number 30.
USC Aiken to call on Connor Durden. We saw Connor a night ago in the lineup for the Pacers. He's in the spot of Blake Bottomley. Bottomley, who's been at first base. Time called for Trevor Clemens. He wants to go meet with Hagler. We'll probably go over the report on Durden here. 0 for 4 last night, Connor Durden, and he struck out 3 times. But Trevor Clemens gets to that meeting with Trace Hagler, and they have a chance to set up what they want to go with here against Durden. Durden for the Pacers out of Jacksonville, Florida, transfer from South Georgia State. He is a junior. Has been only 1 for his last 8, and he takes on a first pitch ball. First things first, Hagler's got to find the zone. He has missed on 7 of his 11 pitches out of the bullpen. After such a great strike throwing effort from Brave starter Landon Smith. Still waiting and responsible for the runners at second and third as it's 2-0 to Durden. Likely to make Hagler throw a strike now in the 7th. There was 87 pitches, 54 strikes for Landon Smith. 2-0 and the bags packed for the Pacers. Big at bat here for Durden in the 7th. And he takes the called strike. Now Goings at third, Brian Pereira at second, Brady O'Neal at first. Hagler trying to back the Braves out of danger. And he evens the count. Good fastball there from Hagler.
Great job receiving by catcher Trevor Clemens as well. Fans are always starting to get into it. Hear the noise picking up in the ballpark.
And both dugouts alive. This is what we grew accustomed to last night in the close battle. Pacers sensing an opportunity to make a big impact on the game here. Fouled off by Durden, battling here in this at-bat. He'll see a 6th pitch.
You can just feel the excitement in the ballpark rising. Big situation here for the Braves as well as for the Pacers. Slam the door right here, keep the Braves rolling is going to be huge.
Trying to keep that line clean for Landon Smith. 2-strike pitch coming from Hagler. His fastball's right there. And Durden's down looking to take us to the stretch. Pacers not happy about it, but the Braves, the big strikeout to take it into the bottom half of the inning. We see a coach tossed here as well for USC Aiken before we head to the bottom half. And the arguing continues at home plate as the Pacers are fired up about losing that opportunity in the top of the 7th to get some runs against the Braves. We'll see that argument continue. We'll be back after this with the Braves up 6-0 on the UNCP Sports Network.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
So a correction, as we have a pitching change as well to tell you about. The player that was ejected was Connor Durden. It was not an Aiken coach. Connor Durden ejected for arguing that call, third strike in the top of the 7th. The strikeout for Trace Hagler that left the bases full for USC Aiken. New replacement at first base in Durden's spot, who was a pinch hitter for Bottomley, is Sage Benson. So he takes over at first. The new arm for USC Aiken is Garvin Alston Jr. The left-hander is a junior for the Pacers out of Phoenix, Arizona. That called strike 3, though, Jack, we talked about in this game that it was kind of one you might have expected. This home plate umpire is not gifted the batters a lot when they let pitches by. He's kind of made you swing the bat, and by the 7th inning, there's a little bit of an expectation that you kind of expect that.
Yeah, and his zone's been pretty consistent throughout the night. That one, though, I mean, that was a little questionable even from the home side of things. But again, you got to be smart to control your temper right there. Obviously, a big situation. Let the coach argue for you. Don't get yourself run, especially coming in as a pinch hitter. The umpire doesn't know you, and frankly, he just doesn't care. As soon as you turn around and snap your head on him, he's going to run you pretty quick. But definitely a questionable call. But again, good job by Trace to pound the zone, come back after that walk to load the bases, and keep the line clean on Landon.
A damage control 6 innings for Mitch Spence, the starter for Aiken, as Alston Jr. fires another, and it is a ball and 2 strikes. And now the Pacers ask, where is that? Called strike 3. Mitch Spence over 6 innings gave up 11 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 1 walk in, 6 strikeouts for him. 4 of the 6 earned runs came in the first inning, though, and then he settled down for his next 5.
And we talked about how important it was for the Braves to jump out early and really jump out on that starting pitcher of Spence. He grooved his last outing, so getting him out of his rhythm and forcing him to settle back down was very important for the Braves. We saw that he still got electric stuff. It shut Braves batters down for 3 consecutive innings, really. Basically in consecutive order besides those 2-out hits to break up the action. But that's really benefited the young pitcher in Landon, and then Trace doing a good job of keeping them at bay and keeping the momentum on the Braves' side. You felt the energy pick up in the ballpark.
Granger started the party back in the first at the plate here and has fouled off the 2-2. Had a 2-run homer back in the first, his 4th home run of the year. You see Alston Jr., the southpaw, a lanky 6'4" on the mound for the Pacers.
The Pacers decided to go with the lefty out of the pen.
He sees the count full to Granger.
Braves took care of Spence, the right-handed pitcher, their starter, going 6 complete.
This is appearance number 11, 9th out of the pen for Alston Jr. No wins or losses this year, and he walks Granger on the miss high and tight. Battle there for Connor Granger in a 7-pitch at bat, working the walk. For Alston Jr. this year, he's also without a save, so no decisions for him on the season. He's worked 15 innings, has given up 6 earned runs, has 17 strikeouts, and now 17 walks, as that evens up his strikeout to walk ratio on the year. Trey Jacobs next for the Braves. Jacobs a single in the first, flew out to left in the second, struck out swinging in the 5th. Lead at first for Granger. Jacobs with a grounder to second. This will be taken by Watcher, goes to second for one to cut down the lead runner. There'll be no back end to the play. Fielder's choice for 6. One gone for the Braves. So to go back to that top half of the 7th inning, though, what a job done by Trace Hagler. Yes, he walked a man to load the bases after Landon Smith gave him corner runners, but his strikeouts in relief were big ones. Caught 2 batters looking, including Connor Durden to end that frame.
Yeah, and his motion's deceptive. I mean, comes straight over the top, uses his big frame, stays tall when he delivers, and has a lot of downward angle on his fastball, which could have thrown home plate umpire Sorrell off a little bit, but a good job of just throwing strikes and trying to pound the zone and staying as close to the zone as possible, and then letting his catcher, Trevor Clemens, who's developed a great relationship with the home plate umpire throughout the game, to work his magic and take the pitch and get a call.
Behind in the count, Jackson. A hit in his last at-bat. Tried to take time. Looks like they still award the pitch. No.
Yeah, time was awarded, but not very visibly. Home plate umpire just kind of
Usually- yeah,
sidestepped
usually-
the pitch.
Usually you see the arms go up, and
I mean, even the pitcher for the Pacers, relief pitcher coming in and threw his hands up saying, hey, it's a little late.
well, he wanted to ask to find out what the count was after that, if the pitch had counted or not, to check on first, and Jacobs back over there standing up. Now the ball gets away from Alston Jr. Jacobs dancing a bit, but he'll stay put. Nearly a miscue there for the Pacers. Luke Jackson behind in this count and has hit up the middle. Made him the 8th of the 9 Braves to collect a hit in this game. Still waiting on Jarrett Mobley. He'll have at least one more chance. He's 0 for 2 in the 8 spot. Did have a couple hits last night, though, and Luke Jackson's also been swinging a good bat this year for the Braves. Batting .396, .496 on base percentage. .400 hitting with runners on. Shy lead at first for Jacobs. Move that way.
And the Pacers love doing this. We've seen this all night. Anytime the Braves get a runner on first base, it's check him once, check him twice, maybe 3. So far, unsuccessful in picking off any runners.
Ball and a strike now. The pitch high and outside. Pacers will have 9-1-2 in the 8th. They'll have 2 innings left to try to make up 6 runs at the minimum. Braves would like to get some insurance near the bottom half of the 7th. Continue to pad it late for their bullpen. Big swing by Jackson. Hits his deep to the gap. Uncorked. It's gone. Luke Jackson, a 2-run shot for the Braves.
Had just enough to get out of here, hit the top of the wall. A happy bounce. And we'll put 2 more on the board.
That's the insurance the Braves are looking for, an 8-0 lead. Luke Jackson with home run number 6 on the season draws even with Ethan Bockham. Second 2-run homer of the day for the Braves, and really no doubt about it off the bat of Jackson. There's the man he's now tied in the home run race. Ethan Bockham standing in next for the Braves with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. And after 3 quiet scoreless innings, the Braves now 1 run in the 6th and a pair in the 7th to stretch this lead out. A check swing and Bockham sending it towards the Pacer dugout. Again, on the line, a 12th straight win at home for the Braves and trying to snap a streak of 3 series losses in PBC play. Pacers have only lost 1 PBC series this year, and that was to Georgia College, who are the top dogs in the conference so far. Paul O'Neill staying out of the way of that ball. This is the baseball that P.O. envisioned at the start of the year for his club. One of the favorites in the Peach Belt Conference, of course, still hard to overcome that perennial powerhouse of Georgia College in the preseason voting, but the Braves are certainly expected to be a heavyweight contender here in the conference this year.
Yeah, and the PBC as a whole is just a very competitive conference, one of the best conferences in D2 baseball. And I mean, you've seen it, how many Peach Belt Conference schools have been in the mix of the top 25. The Braves fell out of it after a tough series against Georgia College, but Aiken, you know, now in the top 15. The Braves looking to put their name back in the hat after hopefully a series win here tonight.
Strikeout for Bachem, his second of the night. 2 away for the Braves. Seth Hardings is up next. Bachem was down looking there. He thought that pitch was too far inside. You could argue it is a makeup call for the top of the 7th, but it definitely doesn't make up for the situation that the Pacers were in with the bases loaded. A swing and a miss through the upper half fastball for Hardings. Actually got just a little piece of it, foul tipped it.
And Alston's bringing a little bit, got some zip, late life on his fastball from the left side. Lefties normally have a lot of late movement. That ball's coming out of the hand pretty well tonight.
Fly ball towards foul ground, right field. Goings, long run into foul territory, trying to make the basket catch and almost did. It'll be at 0-2 for Hardings.
Almost overran it from what it looked like. He picked up some major speed, covered a lot of ground right there, roaming into foul territory. And a lot of foul territory here at Sammy Cox Field in Pembroke on both sides, third baseline and first baseline. There's a lot of foul territory all the way around the diamond.
Goings gave it his best shot, instead just a strike to Hardings. He's 1 for 2, a single in the first, a walk in his last at bat in the 6th. He scored a run and driven 1 in. Has nobody on base here in the 7th. Pitch a little too high there, up above the letters from Alston Jr. Ball and 2 strikes to Hardings. 2-run homer here in the frame for Luke Jackson. 2-run homer in the first for Connor Granger, and the Braves have added 4 others throughout for an 8-0 lead. A check swing try. Fouled off.
Yep. Staying alive.
Be a 5th pitch of the at-bat. Upcoming. Only 3 hits for USC Aiken, 12 for UNCP after the homer for Jackson here in the inning. Followed a walk and a fielder's choice to keep his runner aboard. A swing and a miss, and Alston Jr. using that lively fastball in the upper half of the zone to get the Pacers out of the bottom of the 7th with a pair of strikeouts. Not before Luke Jackson hits him for a 2-run home run into left center, and the Braves now lead by 8 into the 8th on the UNCP Sports Network.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
Trace Hagler, a more comfortable position to take over in the top of the 8th after he inherited runners in the 7th, but got out of it with a couple strikeouts. 8-0 Braves. Top half of inning number 8, Trevor Williams alongside Jack Bull Slavin and Alex Cooper, our producer. It'll be Chandler Rogers to lead off the top of the 8th. Then Jose Bonilla and Philip Watcher. First pitch to Rogers. Covers the lower inside portion of the plate.
And you'll see that over-the-top motion from Hagler. That's tricky for some batters to pick up on, but
Not Watcher in that spot. Able to ground it past Mobley into left field. And a leadoff base knock for the Pacers in the top of the 8th. First hit for Chandler Rogers, excuse me, not Watcher here in the 8th. Chandler Rogers with the single. That correction would have been a tough night for him so far at the plate. He'd had a couple strikeouts, one looking and one swinging, and it's back to the top of the order for Jose Bonilla.
Braves have a couple more arms warming up in the pen in case needed. Let Hagler work a little bit here with an 8-run cushion, but definitely don't want it to go out quickly. In the bullpen looks like number 21, Hank Simpson. And there's another arm down there too, a lefty. We'll try and figure that out for you here in a minute.
A little double-barreled action there in the pen. Bonilla behind in this count 0-1. Simpson was warmed up last night, never had to enter for the Braves. It is the second arm in that pen for the Braves is Thomas Durant. That's a southpaw, the junior out there in the pen. Count even here to Bonilla. Rogers aboard on the leadoff single in the inning. Hagler keeping that breaking ball low, and it's 2-1. Doing his best to keep the board clean for the Braves. 7 shutout innings. Redshirt junior for the Braves, Trace Hagler, got those final 2 outs of the 7th, both on strikeouts. Fastball's there, but above the letters.
Didn't look much different from that call that the Pacers ended their rally on just an inning ago.
Maybe the message was heard. It cost him Connor Durden, who was ejected, arguing the call. Swing and a miss. Count full. Last year was the redshirt season for Hagler. Then in 2016, he had 18 games, all in relief. This is number 11 for him. Payoff pitch. Off the lower outside edge, and Bonilla works the walk. First and second for the Pacers, none gone in the top of the 8th.
Second baseman, Philip Watcher.
Philip Watcher, the second baseman next. Bonilla again to trade off that arm guard, and Watcher's 0 for 3 on the night with a pair of strikeouts. Braves have posted 9 in total from their pitching staff, 7 from Landon Smith, the starter, 2 from Trace Hagler. And now Paul O'Neill taking time out of the dugout on the third base side. He'll go out to have a visit with Trace Hagler. Call the infield into this one as well as they chat about it in the top of the 8th. None gone, USC Aiken with only 4 hits. Paul O'Neill is going to make a change here in this spot, as he will go for Thomas Durant out of the bullpen. We'll tell you about him when we come back with the Braves up 8-0, but the Pacers a couple aboard and none gone in the 8th here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
Thomas Durant in behind Trace Hagler. Landon Smith, the starter tonight. You see Durant's numbers there. This will be his 7th appearance. He's worked 8 innings, a 13.50 ERA, 8 strikeouts without a win or a loss this year. No saves either for no decisions. He has walked a total of 4 batters on the year. So the lefty taking over with runners aboard, first and second for USC Aiken, and nobody out in this top half of the 8th inning. Braves also have right-hander Hank Simpson warming up in the bullpen should they need him here in these late innings.
Yeah, and it's funny that the two late relievers that they have warming up, you have Durant throws from the left side, Hank throws from the right, but they both kind of have that half submarine look. It's very deceptive towards hitters. Both use their frame, long strides towards the plate, but stay low, kind of work sideways on the baseball, a lot of run, a lot of movement, try and get a lot of ground balls here. Double play ball would be what Durant is looking for, as well as head coach Paul O'Neill and the rest of the Braves.
Trevor Clemens setting the signs with Thomas Durant. 8-0 Braves. Pacers left the bags packed in the 7th on a called strike 3 that they didn't like all too much. They're trying to get some late scoring opportunities going here in Pembroke. Durant's first pitch out of the bullpen slides off the lower outside portion of the plate. 1-0 to Philip Watcher, the second baseman for the Pacers.
And this is just time where you need your bullpen just to step up right here. Landon did a great job giving them a great outing. You're asking for 6 outs from these guys.
Bonilla's at first, Rogers at second. Good speed right now in the diamond for USC Aiken. A little too high to Watcher. 2 balls, no strikes. Strike zone squeezing late here for both sides. And a pitch over to Watcher, 2-1. It seems like it's really squeezed after that called strike 3 in the top of the 7th. We saw it shrink in the bottom of the 7th and now in the top of the 8th is, I think, Larry Sorrell behind the plate started to hear that argument from the USC Aiken side. Now that thought's in the back of his mind. It's 2-2 to Philip Watcher.
Yeah, and it's tough. Home plate umpire's job is, very difficult. Dude calling balls and strikes. He's been fairly consistent throughout the game, but we've seen over the last inning or so that the zone seems to be spotting around a little bit. All you ask for is consistency. Even if you're consistently off, you're still asking for consistency.
Swing and a miss, and Durant gets a strikeout out of the bullpen. Sits down Philip Watcher. One away for the Pacers. See the runner behind him, the lead runner, Chandler Rogers. Dalton Weeks next, and this is a guy you want to be careful with. A multi-home run night last night. Luckily, with the lead your offense has built, you still even one swing of the bat doesn't change the game all too much. Braves have put themselves in a position to control this down the stretch. We'll see Durant get a big second out of the pen now. And he starts ahead of Weeks.
It's almost weird not seeing a pitcher pick up their hat every time.
Referencing Landon Smith and his long hair in the early 6 1/3, lost his cap 2 many times to tally on the UNCP Sports Network tonight. Last outing for the lefty Durant was on Tuesday against Shawan. 1 inning of work there. Grounder at third. Diving try for Jacobs. It's under his glove into left. And this will score the first run of the night for the Pacers. Luke Jackson just going to make sure that it gets back to third and keeps the runners at first and second. But Chandler Rogers represents that first run of the night for USCA and the RBI rather for Dalton Weeks.
And the first run allowed. And that runner was Trace Hagler, so not affecting Durant's line as of yet. But again, a ground ball, 1 pitch away in the inning. Let the Braves go back to work at the home half of the 8th. Durant looking to get
Hagler is still responsible for 1 runner on base at second. A pitch low and inside to Niall Goings. The runner leading at second base is Jose Bonilla, and then Dalton Weeks at first after the RBI single. For Weeks on the season, RBI number 34, and it's a strike now into Goins. Goins batting .287. Without a hit here in the series, but did walk in his last at-bat. Braves just gave up their first run of the game here in this inning. Durant getting it to fouled off by Goins, ball and 2 strikes. Durant struck out Philip Watcher out of the bullpen. That was with runners on first and second. Already Chandler Rogers home to score in the frame. Brian Pereira waits on deck. Braves still have Hank Simpson throwing in their bullpen down the left field line. Outside for the southpaw.
And again, Durant just one pitch away. Has a lot of movement on his ball right there, so you saw that one just kind of sneak and drift out on the outside part of the plate.
Here's his 2-2. On the ground, sharply on the third base side and foul. We'll try again at 2-2. Trey Jacobs headed back in. Outfield shading this a little bit to left field side for Goins. A few steps that direction, Rivera. Durant a pitch away from another strikeout. Instead, the count full. Braves looking for back-to-back wins over the top 15 Pacers. Vying to run a home winning streak to 12 games. They've only had one blemish on that home schedule this year. That was in PBC play. Third base coach waiting, looking to see an opportunity to bring another Pacer home. Braves still by a touchdown here in the 8th. Runners take off on 3-2, and it's fouled shy of the Braves dugout.
You saw both runners in motion right there, double steal. In effect.
Full count, 3-2 as well. Durant looking for a strikeout pitch. Already had one in relief, got Watcher swinging. And it is cut on and missed out of the glove of Clemens. Goins giving himself up there on the play. Into second and third go the runners.
Goins automatically out with first and second base occupied.
The catcher, Brian Pereira.
So second and third, 2 gone, 8-1 lead for UNC Pembroke. So now Brian Pereira, the catcher, next for the Pacers. It moved Bonilla to third, Weeks to second. They were already off in motion, so they got to take second and third. And Durant's pitch hit hard at short, got the umpire, and the umpire calls it dead there in the middle of the infield. He awards the bases.
He'll have to go back. Yep. It's going to be bases loaded.
So he's going to bring the runner that came home, you're right, Bonilla, back to third, and then it will be Weeks to second and Pereira to first. He will not allow the run to score on that play, having been hit by that ball in the infield. And now their head coach going to come argue this. in this spot as the Pacers have Kenny Thomas out to talk about this here in this spot, and he wants that run to be allowed to score from third in this spot. So we'll have that conversation in the field with Kevin Morgan. Morgan called it dead right away when it struck him.
It's the right call. It's just an umpire interference call. Ball's automatically dead. Batter gets awarded the bag, and then nobody else advances.
Yep. If Morgan wasn't in that spot, it was probably going to go to Jarrett Mobley and be thrown on to end the inning. Of course, you can't exactly predict that it would have gone perfectly for the Braves, but that's where it was looking like it was headed.
Yeah, Mobley defensively positioned perfectly, but just unfortunate circumstances there for Durant. But now bases loaded, still 2 outs, nothing hurt. Except that he's got to throw a few more pitches, but now he'll go to work again and try and put the Pacers away, facing left fielder number 9, Joey Smithers.
That's another hit for Pereira on his day. 2 hits now, 2 for 4. Smithers is 0 for 3, and he struck out in each of his last 2 at-bats. And the Pacers, for a second consecutive inning, have the bases loaded. So far, I've only been able to scratch 1 run across. Durant, the lefty, against the righty Smithers. And he missed low.
Durant doing a good job of just keeping his rhythm, keeping his composure up on the mound. Gets the ball back, goes back to work. Is throwing a lot of pitches. Not our most efficient pitch that we've seen this evening for the Braves, but it's still effective from that arm slot, low arm slot on the left side.
The next from Durant, breaking ball to the knees of Smithers, 1-1. A strikeout swinging in the 5th, then he was caught looking in the 7th. The first of 2 strikeouts for Hagler out of the pen. Hagler still responsible for the runner at third base. Durant missing a little low, 2-1. Hagler made it 2/3 of an inning. Durant's picked up 2 strikeouts since. Has the Brave pitching total to 11. Trying to get back into the count here with Smithers. And just missing, says home plate umpire Larry Sorrell. 3 balls and 1 strike.
There's one thing Braves can't afford to do. It's let a hitter that's over 3 on the night with 2 Ks get a free pass. Make him earn it right here. Just attack the batter, put something over the plate. Your defense has played stellar all night long. Why not let him make 1 more?
Aiken dugout alive. Looking for something here, 3-1. High chopper at short. Mobley having to wait for it to come down. Needs a big throw to first. It's past Bacham and up the line. They'll stumble at first through for Smithers. Another run home for the Pacers, and they collect 2. Be a throwing error against Jarrett Mobley, probably after a hit for Smithers. So the hit brings home the first run of Bonilla from third. Paul O'Neill coming out to go talk to his pitcher, maybe Kim in this spot. Then the throwing error, E6 for a second to make it an 8-3 score as Paul O'Neill comes out to talk about it. That was the first Brave error in the series. He brings his infield together to discuss in this situation as well, as it's now first and third for the Pacers. Pereira over at third base, Smithers at first, and Brady O'Neill, the designated hitter, to be next. It'll be an 8th batter of the inning for USC Aiken. And it was tough in between hop for Jarrett Mobley. He had to wait a long time for that ball to come back down on the high chopper. There wasn't a lot he could do. And then when he really tried to dart it to first, that's where he lost his accuracy a bit.
Yeah, you had to get rid of it quickly. And, you know, when you rush your mechanics and rush your throw, going to throw one into the dirt or going to sail one, and right there threw it into the dirt, and that cost the Braves a couple of runs. And you talk about how unfortunate it is that the umpire interference happened with that possibly being the 3rd out, but P.O. went to a pitching change.
All right, we're going to see Hank Simpson coming in just a moment. We'll be back right after this here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
It is 8-3 in the top half of the 8th inning. UNCP leading USC Aiken. Couple runners on is Hank Simpson. We'll have corner runners to deal with. His 12th appearance of the season. He's at 18 2/3 innings, a 5.79 ERA, 3-2 record with 23 strikeouts, as you see there. And Simpson, during this home winning streak of 11 games, has picked up 3 of the wins for the Braves in that streak. Gunnar Deals had a pair, and then Landon Smith had one over Lander back on February 24th. He's the starter in line for the victory tonight for the Braves. Left after 6 1/3 scoreless, gave up 3 hits, struck out 7, walked 2. The runners on base for the Pacers, Brian Pereira at third, Joey Smithers at first, and Brady O'Neill the bat to face the right-hander Simpson. Just needs 1 out to turn it to the bottom of the 8th. Still a 5-run lead for the Braves, who have been adept at the plate, and their dugout calling for a defensive shift as they want Ethan Bockham to come and change his position. And the field umpires called a balk on this against Hank Simpson. Paul O'Neill coming out of the dugout to talk about this, and Kevin Morgan has already started tapping his chest as he's coming towards home plate with Larry Sorrell. And we're going to see if they change this balk call or not. They will. And I think the argument for the Braves was that Hank Simpson had never engaged. And so in that situation, he cannot get a balk for the Braves stopping that motion. Again, we see the head coach for the Pacers for a 3rd time out of his dugout, Kenny Thomas, to talk about this call with Kevin Morgan. And Morgan's had a couple visits here in the last 2 frames from Coach Thomas, as he was hit in the field by a ball that ended up being an umpire interference after a single that loaded the bases for the Pacers. They did end up getting a run off of that. You can see Thomas not happy about it, but he will head back to the dugout with still the corner runners and nothing coming out of this. He continues to be frustrated with Kevin Morgan. The Braves were trying to get information into Ethan Bockham at first base. They wanted to move him defensively from where he was set up.
Yeah, they wanted to move Bockham to holding the runner. Bockham was a little bit in no man's land sitting back there, and that's basically allowing the runner to move to second, put 2 runners in scoring position. Head coach Paul O'Neill was trying to come out and inform Bockham that he was in the wrong spot. Then Hank Simpson stepping off, confused, field umpire.
It's a ball, no strikes to Brady O'Neill.
And although the Braves are still in good position, you feel a little nervous all of a sudden with the Pacers threatening, especially with them being a top 15 team. You know that they can put runs up on the board in a hurry.
I mentioned that stat about the wins and the home winning streak for Hank with 3 of them. The steady arm for the Braves, definitely a guy they want on the mound in this spot. Lead at first for Smithers, at third for Pereira. 1-1 the count. Nice breaking ball for strike 2. Hank a pitch away from getting it to the bottom of the 8th for the Braves. All 3 Pacer runs on their night here in the top of the 8th. And time call. Joey Smithers got an RBI credit on his ground ball in the infield. And strike 3 called as Hank Simpson gets the big strikeout to get the Braves out of the top half of the 8th. Strands a couple runners. The Braves still have a 5-run lead.
Adidas is the official apparel sponsor for all 16 of UNC Pembroke varsity athletic teams. Adidas provides some of the most innovative products in the shoe and apparel industry and is one of the most recognizable brands worldwide. We thank Adidas for all its support in offering UNC Pembroke the best for its student athletes. Go Braves!
Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation belongs to the members it serves. That means their members have a say in how their co-op is run. And with members in charge, you can feel confident that the decisions made are in your best interest and the best interest of your community. Doesn't that sound good? Members know they can trust LREMC because it was created not to make profits, but to deliver on this promise, providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. 4 values are the foundation of LREMC's service to its members: innovation, commitment to community, accountability, and integrity. These values represent the cooperative difference and how their co-op earns the trust of members every day.
New pitcher for USC Aiken, William Ard, taking over for Galvin Alston Jr. Trevor Williams alongside Jack Bullslavin from Sammy Cox Field, where the Braves lead by 5, 8-3 in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Still a discussion going on with head coach Kenny Thomas and the umpires here in the bottom half of the 8th innings. He's been frustrated by a few calls, really spurring from a strike 3 call in the 7th and an umpire getting in the way of a ground ball in the top of the 8th, and then of course a balk call that he wanted that was not in the top of the 8th as well.
Yeah, really just some unfortunate situations. I mean, the field umpires had a tough couple innings where after getting hit and then just not realizing that Hank Simpson had disengaged with the rubber and never re-engaged. He's allowed to pace the mound as much as he wants as long as he doesn't re-engage with the rubber. And unfortunately, he made the balk call out of instinct, but wasn't actually able to see it. Fortunately for the Braves, he was able to get up with Sorrell and make the correction, send both runners back, and Hank Simpson doing the job to stop the bleeding, keep the Braves ahead by 5.
Kenny Thomas staying out for the discussion in foul ground on the first base line, and at some point you wonder if it's going to get cut off by the umpires. Home plate umpire Larry Sorrell keeping an eye on the conversation between Morgan and Sorrell, and it almost looks like for a little while there that Coach Thomas wanted to get run, but he will get to return to the dugout. And Jarrett Mobley will start at the bottom of the 8th for the Braves. Mobley the only one without a hit in the card for UNCP. 0 for 2. Everybody else has at least 1. Goes up the middle on a grounder. Over to his right, the second baseman, and Watcher's able to get to it and throw to first. Out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th for the Braves. It might be a parade that Jared Mobley doesn't get to be a part of tonight. Did have multi-hits a night ago. And he's made his impact defensively in this game too. Had some big plays early behind his starter Landon Smith.
Yeah, and sometimes just unfortunate. Again, not a bad approach. He's working up the middle. The ball's just not getting hit hard enough to get through the infield.
The pitch from Ard low to Kevon Perkins. William Ard behind Garvin Alston Jr. And Alston Jr. is final line an inning, a hit, 2 runs, both earned, a walk, and 2 Ks. Pitch out of the zone to Perkins, 2-0. The 2 runs given up. It's a 2-run home run for the Braves last inning for Luke Jackson. 2-run homer in the first for Connor Granger as well. Perkins sitting 2-0, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Aren't able to pour one back in there. The Braves do have an arm in action in their bullpen. They get 2 arms in action in their bullpen. And Perkins fouls off the 2-1. That's going to hurt right off the leg. Reaching down and going to readjust that leg protector on that left leg and ranging down to that left ankle. 2-2. He walks it out towards his dugout. Hank Simpson got the final out in the top half of the 8th inning. Got Brady O'Neill looking. The arms in the bullpen for the Braves are Davis Hurd and Aaron Biggerstaff. 2-2 to Perkins. Hits it hard on the ground at short to his left with a nice play. Rogers and his throw across to first to Benson for out number 2. So 2 away for the Braves, and back to the top of the order, Roberto Rivera. Rivera, the senior, sitting with 3 hits right now, all singles tonight. Had a triple and a double game 1 of the series. Last night, a big walk in the 9th inning to help set up the walk-off. Batting .393 this year. Takes a curve for a strike. Art on the bump for the Pacers, looking for a 1-2-3-8. They'll have some big-time work to do in the 9th inning, trying to cover for 5 runs at this time. No balls, 2 strikes now to Rivera. Art, a 4.35 ERA this year, 1-0, his 10th relief appearance right now, and he's given up 5 earned runs, struck out 11, and walked 3 on the season. Rivera trying to extend the inning for the Braves. Art in the driver's seat of this at-bat, 0-2. Trying to bury it in the dirt. Rivera not going to go.
Yeah, and Art's going to say that it was the ball. Calls that one. Tried to throw a changeup right there and just got stuck in his grip. Wound up spiking it.
Gets a fresh one from behind the plate. Still ahead of Rivera. Bounces that on past the backstop. Roberto has an uncanny ability for, if he does fall behind 0-2, to usually get back in a count. Paul O'Neill, a little smile there on the third base coaching box, looking for a series win tonight to set up a chance for what's normally a sweep Sunday in Pembroke. It would now have to be a sweep Saturday.
Saturdays are for the Braves, Trevor.
They count full to Rivera.
Yeah, and this just shows Rivera's leadoff hitting abilities right here. Although not a situation here, he's done a fabulous job for head coach Paul O'Neill in that leadoff spot, giving the Braves good looks to start the game. Again tonight, swung early in the count, little flare that was caught, but allowed the team to say, hey, we can hit this guy.
Called time before Arndt could get to his delivery and takes the ball 4 tight.
Worked all the way back. 0-2 hole to a walk. Phenomenal at bat by Roberto Rivera.
So he gets aboard for Trevor Clemens with 2 outs in this 8th inning. Will continue for the Braves. Very productive night in terms of getting on for Roberto Rivera. His last 4 at-bats, in fact, after a line out to second back in the first inning. Clemens will try to work with it. He's 1 for 3. Art will keep an eye on that runner behind and start a fastball to Clemens for strike 1. There's a runner on base for the Pacers. at first, or for the Braves at first after that walk for Rivera. The Pacers pitcher, Ard, trying to keep Rivera from moving around. A hit towards center field, back towards right centers. It's a little bit of a run to the gap for Jose Bonilla, but he's able to track down the liner. That's out number 3 for the Braves in the bottom of the 8th. They'll have a chance to shut it down, get a series win up by 5 into the 9th here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Ever wondered why our sponsor, Lumberton Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, has such a long name? One reason is the tremendous variety of cars and trucks they offer to meet every need. Great-looking Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and even GMC SUVs and trucks. They have everything from budget vehicles to the top-of-the-line Cadillacs. So why would you shop anywhere else? Try their quick lube, and while your vehicle is being serviced, you can see for yourself. They are located next to Lumberton High School.
When UNC Pembroke athletes train and compete, Scotland Healthcare System will be a part of the team as the official healthcare provider for UNCP athletics. Led by Ortho Carolina Scotland orthopedic physician Dr. Richard Alexander, their specialist will cover every football and men's basketball game. From practice drills to kickoff and tip-off, Scotland's medical experts will oversee training staff operations. It's one more way Scotland Healthcare is keeping its commitment to be there for the region, delivering closer care that's better by far.
A 5-run lead for the Braves, and Hank Simpson going to try to button it down tonight here on the UNCP Sports Network, as it is 8-3 Braves. Simpson will be facing 8-9-1 for the Pacers. Sage Benson, Chandler Rogers, Jose Bonilla. Trevor Clemens was the final out of the 8th, so he had to get his gear on before getting to the plate to catch the final warm-up pitches from Hank. But a big chance here for the Braves to go 2-0 to start the series, and they also are knocking on the door of a 12-game home winning streak.
Yeah, and the Braves' record at home is just so impressive. Rare that a ball club can have a home field advantage with a record like that. As Trevor's mentioned, I think, what was it, 17-1?
Yep.
So far this season at home, looking to push it to 18-1 here.
Play every game in Pembroke if they could. Sage Benson will get his first at-bat now. He was a defensive replacement after Connor Durden, a pinch hitter in the 7th, was thrown out, arguing the called third strike that ended that top half of the frame for the Pacers with the bases loaded. And a strike to Benson. After how the last inning went with 3 runs, that becomes a very important called strike 3 in this ballgame.
Yeah, again, you understand why Pacers pinch hitter wound up getting tossed on it. But unfortunately for them, call was already made. Ended the inning. And Braves kept their lead. Gave up 3 the next inning. A couple of relief pitchers between Durant and Hagler. But now Hank Simpson, Braves' trusty reliever, going to work as the count runs 1-2.
Simpson had a strikeout of a man looking in the 8th, close to another. Got Brady O'Neill watching to end that top half and keep a couple runners stranded aboard.
Beautiful breaking ball from Hank. Little backdoor action, but not called.
And far too wide on the 2-2. That lower arm slot delivery, it really lets him push that ball running away from the right-handed hitters. Payoff pitch to come to Sage Benson. His first at-bat of the night. Doesn't have a hit yet on this season. And he swings and misses. Back-to-back strikeouts dating to the 8th for Simpson. And 1 gone for the Pacers here in T9. We'll bring up Chandler Rogers. Braves have posted 13 total strikeouts as a combined staff. Rogers has struck out on 2 of those occasions. 1 at the hand of Landon Smith, 1 at the hand of Trace Hagler. Ball, no strikes to Rogers. Game 3 of the series concludes tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Back on the inside edge with a strike, Simpson.
Thinking we'll have that game here for you on the UNCP Sports Network. Make sure you tune in the series conclusion.
Braves open. They're 2 outs away from making an opportunity for a sweep. Could be 1 out away now with Bacham into foul territory. The first base line makes that catch without trouble, and Simpson handling the bottom of the order, the 8 and the 9 hitters for outs 1 and 2, and now he'll have to face Jose Bonilla at the top of the card. Braves needing just that 27th out now. One game won last night 6-5 on a walk-off, and while they've had walk-offs in 3 of their last 4 home wins in this 11-game winning streak, they're happy to not see it needed tonight. Hank Simpson trying to make it an inning and a third to cap it. Goes inside to Bonilla, 1-0.
Again, Hank doing a good job resetting himself there. You always talk about the first out and the last out in a ball game are the hardest 2 outs to get. So making sure you keep yourself under composure and pound the zone.
Called strike, and Bonilla thought too far inside. Of all things you're talking about, those first and last outs, Bonilla could be both the first and the last out tonight. And the first out was a strikeout swinging, part of a strikeout of the side for Landon Smith back in the opening frame. The 1-1 from Simpson, making a ball and 2 strikes.
Hank would love to see it end the same way it started.
He's a pitch away from doing that. Bonilla went down swinging in the first, grounded to short in the 4th, walked in the 6th, and walked in the 8th. Do the Braves have a 14th punch out in their pitching staff? Right there. Some yes calls out of the dugout on the third base side, but home plate umpire Larry Sorrell says no, 2-2.
Yeah, the Braves aren't getting that call again tonight.
Reminiscent of the top of the 7th when the bases were full for the Pacers. 2-2 now. We'll see where Hank goes, a pitch away from the win for the Braves. Grounder to the right side, over to his left, a little bobble for Hardings. He's not able to pick it clean. And it'll be an infield single for Jose Bonilla.
Second baseman, Philip Watcher.
Bonilla with his first hit of the night, and Philip Watcher, the second baseman, next.
Braves just 1 out away from clinching the series. Hank Simpson. Braves trusty reliever looking to do the job.
8 runs, 12 hits in error for the Braves. They've left 6 on, 3 runs, 7 hits, or make it 8 hits now, and an error with 7 left for the Pacers. Hank just missing, actually, yeah, just missing on his first offering. 3 times Watcher struck out in this game, twice swinging, once looking, and he's 0 for 4. Strike from Hank. Even that up. The check of first, slight lead for Bonilla. That runner doesn't matter in this spot. Hard hit grounder to Harding's, chance for redemption, and he flips to Jarrett Mobley. The Braves make it 12 straight home wins, a series win over the USC Aiken Pacers, and they'll have a chance to sweep it up on Saturday. They got that early life from Landon Smith on a great 6 1/3 inning performance for the victory. Their bullpen holds it down late after their offense comes through with some big plays. Connor Granger, a 2-run blast, and Luke Jackson with 1 as well. And this is that baseball that Paul O'Neill's been looking for, his Braves into form in this series. He's going to be very happy with this win tonight.
Yeah, it's always great to get a PBC win, a PBC series win, but especially when you can take down a top 15 in the country. Make some viable bids for you to get back in the top 25. The Braves slipped out last week, so 2 big victories for the Braves. We'll see if they can pull one together again tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Back to 500 in PBC play at 8-8. The Braves to 22-8 on the year. The Pacers to 20-12. and now 11-6 in conference action. That win does go to Landon Smith, the loss to Mitch Spence, and we will see it tomorrow for Game 3 of the series. 2 o'clock first pitch in that one. Braves will be looking for a sweep after they win it tonight, 8-3 on the UNCP Sports Network.